Hey guys, if you guys can hear me clearly, please put in the comments what city you're in and that you can hear me clearly. I'm going to pull up some questions here that we are getting on our channel, and I'll answer them here for everyone. If you guys can hear me, please put down the name of the city that you're in, that you're hearing us from, and if you can hear us clearly. I'll give everyone a few minutes just to hop on. All right, so we got Fong from Saigon, we got Chong from Melbourne, we got Mr. Dobbs from Nashville, we got Genghis Khan in the US. The US is not a city. We got Aaron, one of our students in New Zealand. Okay. All right, guys. All right, let me get this started here. Okay, Tran in Delaware says it's clear. Okay, guys. All right, welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. My name is Tai Zen. Our channel right here, it's called cryptocurrency.market, and we specialize in helping people grow their portfolios to a 7, 8, and 9-figure portfolio. We started the first Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading investing channel back like 10 years ago. Here's some of the first. If you click on oldest, you'll see all our videos have been here. We are not one of those channels that talk about theory. We talk about stuff that we have done, and we share the mistakes that we've done and the successes that we've had so that other people can learn from it, okay? There's already enough bullshit channels on the internet. We are trying to avoid being one of those bullshit channels and share real information. For example, like I was the first person to tell people to invest into Ethereum back like almost 10 years ago, right here. Interviewed Vitalik, and then I told everyone to invest into it right here, okay? Some people thought it was crazy back then, but it's not. I interviewed Charlie Lee from Litecoin back here also. So if you guys go to our website, cryptocurrency.market, I want to answer some questions that our students have about buying, rebalancing, and preparing for the to take profits in the upcoming bull market. So let me just review real quick. We teach several strategies to our students on how to invest. There's 5 strategies that we teach, and one of them is called the Taifu Crypto Index strategy, right? And this is where we put the bulk of our money, right? So if you're new to our channel, the one that you would use would be the Taifu 30 Crypto Index, the 80-20. Where 80% of your money will be in the markets, and then 20% of your capital will be set aside to rebalancing purposes, okay? So the people that have less than 5 years worth of living expenses saved up, they'll use this one. The ones that have 5 to 20 years worth of living expenses, they will use a 70-30. And then the guys like us who have more than 20 years worth of living expenses saved up, then we will use the 60-40, okay? If you're watching this video, it's very likely that you will be using this one, okay? Because the ones that are using this are the students that we have that are retired. They'll use these two and they can contact us directly, so they probably won't be watching this video, all right? And then if you're not clear how we structure this index, right? What we did was we took our 10 years worth of trading and investing experience here, and what we did was we filter out all the stuff that caused us to lose big chunks of money, and we use that and we created a series of filters right here that you can go to at cryptocurrency.market/methodology, and we explain to you all the filters that we use here to filter out all the coins that we do not want in our portfolio. And then that's how we let our software create it to filter it out for us, and there it is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and click over here and enlarge this. Oh, by the way, when you guys come to our website, make sure you create a portfolio here so you can track it, right? So I'm going to magnify this, and make sure that when you guys get here, change it to 1 week so that you guys have it. Let me just rearrange this screen real quick. Okay. So we are getting a lot of questions from our students, and let me start off with the first one. And that first one is that, just to remind everyone, we use we take the peak in our system that we teach people in the cryptocurrency investing blueprint course that we that we offer to our students. We teach them to draw to measure the top from the previous bull market, which is the peak, and then we bring it down to the lowest, the recent low. So we would not use the lows from the previous markets. So since this is the peak right here in November 2021, we would use only the lows from that point on forward, okay? So we would use it right here, right there, and we would go forward. So the lowest point would be down here, and we would click on the magnets, and then we would just magnetize it to the low down here. And then we would split this right here. The tool is right there, okay? The retracement tool, the Fibonacci retracement tool. And we use that tool, and I'll put up the settings right here so you guys can see it. Why isn't the settings coming on? Let me just pull it over here. And when you click on this, right there. So go ahead and take a screenshot of that, guys. I don't know why it took so long to pop up. Right there. Okay, go ahead and take a screenshot of this while I have it on the screen so that you guys can see it. Right there. All right, go ahead and take a screenshot of that. Right there. So you guys remember the settings? So you can divide the areas into 3 yourself. And then go ahead and take another screenshot right there of the bottom settings. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn it off right here. Okay, so once you guys get that, it'll draw out 3 sections for you. The top, which is the red, the middle, which is the gray, and the bottom, which is the green. And then you will also notice this 50% line right there. Okay, and we'll talk about each one of these sections, all right? So in the cryptocurrency investing blueprint course that we teach our students and our team to buy down here in the green, okay? And then some of you guys will see this, and then you guys will ask, okay, Ty, how do I know that the bottom is right here? And the answer is nobody knows. We don't know, nobody knows, right? The way that we do it is that we measure it so that it's from the peak down to the 50% point, okay? And then from there, I'm gonna turn off the magnet here, get the ruler tool on this side, and then I'm gonna come up here and pull it from the top, and then I'm gonna see where 50% is at. So 50% is about right there, okay? Okay, so 50% is, let's just say it's at the bottom of those candles right there, those weekly candles, right? So when the market drops down 50% from here, then we will tell our students and our team to start looking for an opportunity to buy. And then it doesn't mean that we buy immediately, right? Just because the market falls 50% from the peak. It means that we start looking, okay? And I want you guys to understand the difference between us looking for something versus us actually taking action and clicking the button to buy or sell, all right? So once it falls down 50%, right, then what we do is we start thinking, okay, is there a good opportunity to buy? So when it comes down here in, let's say somewhere around here, in May, then in somewhere around here, we start talking about buying, all right? Let me just erase this. Okay, somewhere in here, right, we start making a video talking about we're gonna buy at the end of the year, all right? So we buy down here. And then around, I think it was around October, right? We said, hey, you know what? Instead of buying at the end of the year, we're just gonna wait one more month, right? And wait for the elections to be done in the US. And at that time, the Federal Reserve Bank in the US was increasing interest rates, and we wanted them to increase the interest rates like 2 or 3 more times so the market gets accustomed to the Federal Reserve increasing interest rates. So those are 2 big events in the economy, the elections in the US and the Fed increasing their interest rates. So we said, hey, we made a video and we said we're gonna start buying in the first of the year, in Q1 of 2023, which is January 1st, 2023. So if you look at this index, right? Remember, the index is a ruler, okay? I always tell people when they ask me what is the Taifu index, I tell them it's a ruler. It's a ruler to measure the health of the market. It's like when I go to the doctor and he's checking my heart, he's checking the pulse of my hand to see what the market is doing. So there's a lot of things going on in the markets, and we have to have some kind of tool or some kind of measuring device or tool so that we can measure the health of the markets. And in this particular case, we invented the Taifu 30 crypto index back in 2017. Right? Before that, there was only a small handful of coins that we can buy, so we didn't have to, we can just memorize it, we don't have to think about it, and it's very easy, right? Because at that time, we can just call and talk to any of the cryptocurrency coin founders, and it was very easy. But nowadays, it's much harder because we have like, 30, 40, 50,000 coins on the market. I don't know how many we have in the market now, but it's in the thousands, right? So because of that, we had to build a measuring tool so that we can measure the health of the markets, just like when the doctor checks our pulse to measure the health of our heart, okay? So from here, if we grab the ruler tool on the left side and we go from the bottom down here and we pull it up to the current price, it's about 84% increase. So we can say that since the bottom, the market has gone up 84%, right? But if you look at where the beginning of the year is, which is a little bit higher than that, it's below that green candle right there. It's on this gray vertical line. Let's just go from there to the current. So it's about 77%, right? So the market has gone up 77% today, and I want you guys to ask yourself, has my portfolio gone up 77% since January 2023? You guys go ahead and put in the chat box, right, how much your portfolio has gone up. Go ahead and put in the chat box how much your portfolio has gone up. Has your portfolio grown at least 77% since the beginning of the year? Right? Go ahead. Go ahead and put in the group chat, right, how much your portfolio has grown. What city you're in and how much your portfolio has grown. And while you guys are waiting on that, right, while I wait for that, because there's like a 30-second delay from when I say something until it shows up on the group chat, all right? So the way that I look at this is I can measure the performance of our students by talking to them and asking them how much their portfolio has grown. What I want to see is that when the students start buying in January 2023, I would like to see their portfolios grow at least like 60%, okay? If their portfolio has not grown at least 55, somewhere around 50 to 60%, right? Then I have to ask myself, okay, what are they not doing, or why aren't they following, right, our instructions, okay? So I got talk to Dobbs right there in Nashville. He says he's up 25%. So then if we have a student that's up 25% like that, right, or someone that's following our channel that's up 25%, then we have to ask, okay, what are they doing? Because the market went up 77%, and why is it that their portfolio only went up 25%, okay? So in that case, I would talk to that student and see what they're doing wrong, okay? Right now, when our students don't have at least 50 or 60% in their portfolio, 50 or 60% profit in their portfolio since the beginning of the year, then the number one problem that I have seen is because they don't have Bitcoin in their portfolio, because they think that Bitcoin is a high price already at 20, 25, 30, 35,000, so they don't want to buy it. And they say that they are, they want to avoid buying Bitcoins, and they just buy altcoins only. And then they end up missing this 77% move in the market, because the bulk of this move is coming from Bitcoin, okay? That's the reason why we encourage people to have Bitcoin in their portfolio. If you guys come over here and look, once you guys click on the top row, right, come down here to the components tab, and you will see that Bitcoin makes up 49% of the market on the beginning of this quarter, right, which is October 1st, and today it's 53% of the markets. And you see how the Ethereum, it went from 19 and it dropped down to 18%. Now some of these went up, like Ripple, it went from 2.7% to 2.75, and Cardano has went up, right? But the bulk of this move is coming from Bitcoin right here, okay? And that's the reason why we encourage people to hold a big portion of their portfolio in Bitcoin, because the strategy that we're teaching our students is to bet on the market going up. The bulk of our money is not spent on betting on a coin going up, but the entire market going up, which is much easier and is less risky, and there's less analysis that you have to do, right? Now, Solana did pretty well. He went from 8% of the portfolio, 0.8, to almost double, right, to 1.68. So if it continues on that trend, then we will have to rebalance our portfolio on January 1st, 2024, right? So right there, that's the number one cause of our students not getting a 50, 60% profit on their portfolio, all right? So let me see. David says, I buy multiple times and haven't rebalanced yet. It's up 159%. Okay, so David must be from outside the Western countries, because if he's bought and sold multiple times, I don't know if he sold or not, but if he bought and sold multiple times coming in and out of the markets, then he's going to owe taxes on that, and it's going to reduce that 159% down lower, okay? Right? So, and then 159%. So you guys would think that if our students, right, the market went up right here, 77%. And you would think that if our students make 159%, or if someone follow us and they make 159%, then you would think that we would be happy about it, right? But the answer is no, we would not be happy about it. We want our students to perform consistent with the system and the methodology that we teach in the cryptocurrency investing blueprint. Keep in mind, guys, the definition of a system, of an investing system, is something that can reproduce results consistently, or in that you can get consistent results. If we do something, if we teach you guys a method to invest in the crypto market and it doesn't produce consistent results, in other words, it doesn't produce a consistent profit each market cycle, right? Then it makes it very hard to plan for things. For example, if you want to quit your job and to retire, it would be very, very difficult to do that if you have an investing system that is not producing consistent results, right? It cannot be called a system unless it produces consistent results, right? For example, when I was working in the US before I retired, my average income was about it's 130 to about $160,000 a year income. I'm gonna round it off to like 150, okay? And my business partner, David, was making a similar salary. And then my third business partner, leonfood.com, he was making about $200,000 a year. So if you guys do the math, 150,000 plus 150,000 is 300,000, and then plus another 200,000 from our business partner Leon. That's a total of $500,000 in income from three guys. And in order for the three of us to quit our jobs and retire early, we have to have a investing system that we are confident that will produce consistent results in every market cycle, and that we can consistently produce a profit. Otherwise, it would be very stupid of us to quit our high income jobs and go retire early, because that doesn't make any sense. We would not take that kind of risk with our family, because I have a wife, I have 4 kids. Leon has a wife and he has 1 child. There's no way that we can take that kind of risk with our family and just quit our jobs and be able to retire early if we didn't have consistent results. All right. So each market cycle, we learn to become better and better investors. And that's the whole purpose of this channel, is that we share what we know, right? Some of you guys ask us, hey, how come the market's going up, we're not making videos during this market cycle? If you guys look at how long we have been making videos, right, on our channel, okay? If you guys go here to our channel, you guys will see that we have been making videos for like 10 years now. Okay, like everything that we have learned from crypto investing, it's on our channel. Like you can go back and watch all our channels. We don't delete any videos. Like you got a bunch of bullshit channels out there that they'll make a video and then after the bull market they erase or delete their videos so that they all look good in their channel. Everything that we do that we make money on or we lose money on, we leave it on our channel. Like for example, right, the first altcoin that came on the market that you could buy was called Mastercoin. We missed that, right? So here we talk about Bitcoin here. We made money on that, right? The second altcoin that you can buy, that you can invest into, was called NXT, right? Back then it first came out, everybody called it Nextcoin, and then later on they changed it to NXT. Okay, so we made money on that. Right? We make videos about that. You see a bunch of videos on it because that was the only coin that you could invest into back then, right? That did an ICO that offered it to everybody, right? We talked to Charlie Lee, made money off of Litecoin, and obviously, we were the first channel to interview the founder of Ethereum right here, and we invested into that. We told people, how and why you should invest into it. And that was actually my first big winner. Ethereum was my first big winner. We made profits on all the other coins, but it wasn't until Ethereum that put our team way ahead, okay? So we talked about NXT. We talked about Ethereum here again, right? And then we even talked about how we bought kilos of silver here, and it's like the dumbest shit we've ever done, right? And gold too. buying gold and silver, that's like one of the dumbest things you can do in investing, right? If you want to be a dumbass investor, go buy precious metals. Now, do I buy precious metal? Like I'm wearing a gold chain right here. Yeah, we buy it for jewelry purposes. That, is okay. But if you think that buying gold and silver or precious metals is smart, that is like one of the dumbest, like, that's like guaranteed to be one of the dumbest things that you can invest into, right? Now, we invest into a Slockit. We lost money on that, right? With the Dow hack right there. So we made money on Lisk. We made money on Factum. We made money on a bunch of things. Oh, this is funny right here. We were broadcasting about Bitcoin in front of the Federal Reserve Bank in Dallas, and they sent the security guards to come out and kicked us away. Me and my business partner were talking about it, and we thought it was funny. We were sitting there talking about how the cryptocurrency and the market would what do you call that? Would get rid of the banks and hurt the banks. And I guess they must have heard it, didn't like it, and came out and told us to go away. Right? So I'm sharing this with you guys, right? To let you guys know that we've been broadcasting for a long time, and we have shared a lot of mistakes that we have made on our channel. And if you just go back and watch the previous videos that we have not deleted, you will see it. Now, I would not watch so much the coin videos. I would watch the videos where I talk about the mistakes that we make and how to solve them. Okay, those are the videos that I would focus on watching. Okay, if you want to become a better trader and a better investor, right? So whenever we have a system, it produces consistent results, and that's why we call it a system. If you have a methodology or a technique to invest in the markets, but it does not produce a consistent result in the markets, then I would not call it a system. I would just call that like luck. I would call it a gamble. I would call it a lot of things, but I would not call it a system, okay? So in the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint, we share with you guys the Typhoon investing system of how we make profits consistently in every cycle, right? So you would think that, Ty, if the market goes up 77% and your students make 159%, you should be happy about it, right? And the answer is no, because they're not following our system. That means that they will not be able to produce consistent results in every cycle, all right? And if they cannot produce consistent results in every cycle, then it will be very, very difficult for them to quit their job and retire early, okay? We don't want our students to be stressed out and think, okay, I retired, I quit my job and I retired early, right? Or I quit my job, I moved to Thailand, or I moved to Asia to live to reduce my living expenses and have a better life and get away from all the feminist bullshit and all the wars in the West, and I want to live in a peaceful country and meet beautiful women and live a good life. I would not want our students to take that kind of change in their life and not know that they don't have a system that can produce consistent profits in every cycle, okay? The Typhoon investing system does not produce profits consistently every day, every week, or every month, or even every year, but it does produce consistent profits every cycle, okay? So that's what we're going for. And why do we focus on making profits consistently every cycle and not every day or every week or every month? The reason is because those systems that focus on making a profit every day, every week, every month, we have not seen them produce life-changing profits. Our system is designed to produce life-changing profits consistently in every cycle. Life-changing profits is not $100 profit or $1,000 profit. Life-changing profits is a big enough piece of profit that changes our lives, where we can pay for education, pay for a marriage, pay to get married, right? Pay to retire early, things like that. Buy a home, buy a car, build a business, start a business. That's life-changing, okay? Making $100 or $200, right, is not life-changing to us, okay? It might be for somebody else, but that's not what we want to waste time teaching. There's a lot of people that know how to make $100. We don't want to waste your time teaching you how to make $100, okay? There's not a lot of people that know how to make 7, 8, 9 figures in the world. So since our team has done it, right, we want to share that information with other people, because there's so many fucking bullshit channels on the market that it's so frustrating when you want to be serious about making large amounts of money, you don't know who to listen to or who to focus on. So we have always focused on being one of those channels that are serious and share real world information on how we grow our portfolios to a 7, 8, and 9-figure portfolio, and be able to keep it, protect it, and manage it, and keep it safely, okay? Because if you make it but you can't keep it, then it's not really real talent, okay? So let's look over here. Aaron Kippa says, this is what I didn't buy is Bitcoin and bought altcoins only, and he only made 25% on his portfolio. So Aaron is one of our students in New Zealand, right? And so we have been pushing our students to make sure that they have Bitcoin in their portfolio, because that's part of our system. Our system, right, is to invest on the market going up. Our system does not focus on one single coin going up, right? 80% of our money is focused on betting that the entire crypto market goes up, okay? Only 20% of our money is used to bet on coins that go up, okay? There's a big difference when your strategy is focusing on the market going up and you make a profit, or an individual coin going up and you make a profit, okay? And we do both, but the bulk of our money, like 80% of our investable assets, our investable capital, is put towards betting on the market going up and not on an individual coin going up. Only 20% of our money is used to bet on a single coin or an individual coin going up, okay? So as far as Aaron goes here, I would encourage him to make sure that he has Bitcoin in his portfolio, okay? Genghis Khan says that I follow the altcoin index strictly and my portfolio is over 120%. So let's take a look at that, right? So if he follows the altcoin index, which we do not recommend, we have it here because we have a lot of hard-headed students that don't want to listen, right? So we do have it here. It's not that we don't, right? But let's take a look at it, right? Let's look at it. Let me see here. Something is I'm not sure why this label is here. Okay. This label is here. I gotta talk to our devs. So if we talk about since the beginning of the year from here, and we come up to here, to this line right here. So the market is up 54% on the altcoin index. So the altcoin index did not beat the Taifu index, okay? So we do not encourage our students to use this. Now, we have students that are really hard-headed and stubborn, even though they pay us to learn from this. They don't do everything we say, right? And some of them want to invest into the markets. They want to use a similar strategy to us and bet on the entire market going up, except without Bitcoin in it. So that's why I had my software engineers build this altcoin index for them, but I don't encourage it. We don't teach our students to invest into the altcoin index. We teach our students to track and follow the Taifu 30 crypto index right here, right? So as you guys can see, if you followed the altcoin index, then it went up only 54%. And if you follow the Taifu index, it went up 77%. Okay. Now, so if this individual, Genghis Khan, said that he made 120% on the altcoin index, then I don't know what strategy he's using, because if he's using the, if he's truly, genuinely using the altcoin index, it will have only gone up 54%. It would not have gone up 120%. So, okay, so that's not good. Either way, guys, if the student produces a result that is too low, like the 25% with Aaron in New Zealand, right? Or if a student produces a result that is too high, right, like the 159% or the 120%, right? I don't know if David and Genghis Khan is our students or not, but if they are, I would be disappointed that they didn't do what we teach, because the rate that the profit gain that they should have made is somewhere around 50-60%. All right, so once we divide this, guys, once we divide this from the peak to the low down here, now keep in mind, guys, nobody knows if that's the low. Okay, nobody knows if that's the low of the bear market. Now we can guess, we can estimate that, say, hey, we can say that, hey, that's probably the low in the bear market. But the only way that we know for certain is when the price right here goes back up to the top. Okay, once it goes back up to the top up here and touches the top at 1703 points, 1700 points up here, right? And it breaks above it. At that point, we can look back behind us in history and say that this was November 21st was the low of the bear market. Okay, November was the bear market low. But right now, we do not know, because this can easily turn around and continue going below the 528 point level, okay, and continue going back down. It's possible. Nobody knows, okay? If anyone tells you that they know that this is going to continue going up or go back down, they're full of shit. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, okay? There's two things that nobody knows in the market, right? When is it going to go up or down? When? That's the first thing, okay? When? When is it going to go up? When is it going to go down? Nobody knows when, okay? If somebody tells you they know when something's going to happen in the market, they are full of shit, okay? Number two is nobody knows how much. Hey, Ty, how much is it going to go up? How much is it going to go down? Nobody knows. Okay, Warren Buffett doesn't know. Michael Saylor doesn't know. Elon Musk doesn't know. Jeff Bezos doesn't know. Nobody knows. Now, can we estimate? Can we guess? Can we do all kinds of things? Can we predict? Yes, we can. But nobody knows for certain, okay, that the thing is going to go all the way up to here or it's going to go back down to here. Nobody knows, okay? But what we do know is this. We do know that in the past, like 7 market cycles, since crypto was invented in 2009 and it started trading in 2010, since 2010 when Bitcoin was first traded for 5 cents, right? We know for certain that there was about 7 or 8 market cycles depending upon how you count it, okay? If you count from, we count it every time the market goes up and it drops more than 50%, we call that a cycle, okay? So there has been like 7 cycles, if I can remember correctly, right? So 7 times in the cryptocurrency market since 2010, right, the market has fallen more than 50%, right? So since this has fallen more than 50% below this candle somewhere here, that's why we started buying at the end of the year, and we said, hey, let's wait until the Federal Reserve finishes raising interest rates for 2 or 3 more times so the market adapts to it and they get used to it, so it's not longer a surprise. Even if they increase interest rates for 5, 6, 7 times, it doesn't matter. All we need is the market to see it happen for the first 2, 3, 4 times, and then the market gets accustomed to it. Now that is priced in, okay? So priced in means that it is factored into the market, and then now everybody's not going to freak out and the market's not going to jump up and down and go crazy if they increase interest rates for the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th time, because the market knows now, okay? So once there is certainty in the markets, then the market is more stable, okay? What you don't want is when the market is uncertain about something. It doesn't know if this is going to happen or not, and it just goes sideways. And that's when we don't have any volatility, or we don't have, or the market just goes sideways because nobody knows what's going on, okay? We want certainty, all right? So we said, hey, wait for the Federal Reserve to finish increasing interest rates, wait until the U.S. elections are done. We start buying in January 2023, and so our portfolios should be up around 50-60% right now, okay? That's where it should be. Now, I drew the I used a Fibonacci retracement tool, and I drew it from the peak down to the low here in November, and we split into 3 areas. And we teach our students and our team to buy in the green. It doesn't matter if you buy here, doesn't matter if you buy there, doesn't matter if you buy here, there, here, right? It doesn't matter. What we're looking for is the average cost, and that's the reason why our team uses the dollar cost average method, okay? So every month we get extra money from our salary, our paycheck or something, that's when we buy it. If we get paid every 2 weeks, then we buy it every 2 weeks. If we get paid every month, then we buy it every 2 months. And that's how, and if you buy it, it doesn't really matter. If you do the math, let's say that you buy it every week, okay? Let's say that you buy the closing price of every week. Each one of these candles is a week candle, and let's say that you buy it here, 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 right? So you're buying as the price goes up, and you're buying as the price goes down. So, well, let me use this as an example, since we started buying on January 2023, right? Let's say you bought here, 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 at the end of each candle close, right? It seems like you're buying at a higher price each time, but if you do the math, then on the red candles, then you're buying when the price is dropping. So all this whole area in the first 2 months, the first quarter, your average price would be around here. It would not be down here, it would not be up here, it would be down here somewhere, the average price. And the same thing, as you continue buying as it goes up, and then you continue buying as it drops, right? Then the average price is going to be here. And if you do the same thing, your average price is going to be somewhere around the 700 points, right? And then from there, the market goes up, right? And that's the reason why, even though the market has gone up 77%, we know that our students are not going to get the whole 77%. They're going to get probably about 50-60% of it, because we know that our students are buying on a dollar cost average. They're not buying the absolute bottom. They're not buying the absolute top, okay? So that's the reason why it's not possible for our students to have a 77% gain on their portfolio since the beginning of the year. They will have close to it. There's also 3 other factors that prevents our students from having a 77% gain, even though the market has gone up 77%. The other factor is the slippage, okay? The slippage is the difference between what your eyes see on the order books and what the price that you actually get filled at. Second is the transaction fees. The Taifu index does not account for transaction fees, okay? We might build that into the equation later on in the future, but at the moment, we're not going to put that in, okay? We'll add that later. The third one, right, is that we include taxes, okay? The Taifu index does not factor in taxes, and then the other ones do, okay? Most of the other ones do. So because of that, it's not really realistic for our students to have the same 77% gain on their portfolio like the Taifu indexes, you know. But in the future, I will add the fees and maybe like a 10% tax, right? Just so that the index is a more accurate measuring tool of how the markets work, okay? So now that the market has gone above the green, then we are not in a buying mode no more, right? So remember that there's 4 actions that we can do in the markets. We can buy, we can sell, we can hold, or we can stay out of the markets. Those are the only 4 actions that we do. So after you guys watch this video, you have to ask yourself, okay, all this information that Ty just shared with me, right? Did it help me make a buy decision, a sell decision, a hold decision, or just stay out of the market decision? It's just one of those. And it's not just with me. If you guys listen to anybody on the market, right? The stuff that they share with you guys sounds really juicy, really nice, really mouth-watering, really very savoring, right, to the taste. But at the end of the day, you have to ask, okay, that person just shared with me all that information. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to buy, sell, hold, or stay out of the markets? Right? You can do 10 hours of technical analysis, 10 hours of fundamental analysis, or a year worth of technical analysis, or a year worth of fundamental analysis. But at the end of that, all that analysis, the question still comes down to, so do I buy, I sell, or I hold, or what do I do? And I don't want you guys to walk away from this video not knowing what decision to make. And The decision to make is that when it's in the gray, we hold. We don't do anything. We don't buy, we don't sell, we don't do anything. We just hold, right? Because the time to buy was in the green. Now that we're in the gray, it's just hold. And then what do we do when it goes up into the red? When it goes up into the red, we think about selling. We're not selling, we just think about selling, okay? Because I want to make that clear, because a lot of people say that, oh, Ty said that when it gets into the red, we start selling. No, I didn't say that. I say we think about selling. I didn't say that we sell. I say we think about selling. There's also another thing we do is we start practicing to sell small amounts, right? What small amounts? Like 500, 100, 200, there's a percentage that we practice selling, like 1/4%. Why? Because if you haven't moved coins from your wallet in a few years, in a year, 2 years, we might forget how to move coins from the wallet to the exchange, sell it, convert to fiat, to US dollars, or to euros, or to pounds, or to Thai baht, or to Vietnamese dong, and send it to our bank account. So we have to start practicing, right, when we start up here. So we don't sell to take profits, we sell to practice, and we also start looking for an opportunity if the market gives us an opportunity to sell and take profits and fulfill our financial goals and change our life. Remember, the goal of being in crypto is to make life-changing profits. So when we are up here in this area, our key goal is not to buy, not to hold, but we're looking for an opportunity to take profits and change our lives, okay? So those are the 3 areas, right, that I want you guys to walk away from this video and know, okay, I know what to do now, okay? I know that in the gray, we should not be buying in the gray. In the green, we should be buying. In the gray, we just hold. In the red, we think about, is there an opportunity for the market to give us an opportunity to fulfill our goals, to take profit and fulfill our goals, okay? So those are the actions that you want to take, okay? Depending upon which section of the market we're in. If we're in the bottom 1/3, the middle 1/3, or the top 1/3. Okay, I'm going to pause right here and answer some of the student questions here in the group chat here. All right. If you guys are one of our students and you have a question for me, just send it to me on the Signal chat group, and then I will answer it here on the live stream. Okay. Let me answer those questions first from our students here. Okay. Okay, so we have a student in Nagoya, Japan, and he says that, hey, I'm a Vietnamese investor, and I currently live and work in Nagoya, Japan, and he says that if I work over here, but I use my Vietnamese identity to open an account on Binance and Kraken and Bitstamp and all that, and I trade and I make a profit, do I owe taxes to Vietnam, or do I owe taxes to Japan, right? And he is going to have to check with Japan and talk to an accountant or a tax attorney in Japan, because I don't pay taxes in Japan. I don't have any experience paying taxes in Japan. I've never been to Japan, right? So I don't know what the tax laws are in Japan. I do know that in Vietnam, they currently do not tax people on crypto at the moment in Japan. I mean, in Vietnam, because the government does not recognize crypto as an asset. So because of that, they do not, they cannot give you legal protection for crypto. So if you get robbed, somebody steals you, or somebody scams you for your Bitcoins, you cannot go and sue them in court for it, because the government already told you that they do not recognize crypto as an asset, right? So because they do not give you legal protection, they cannot turn around and tax you on crypto either in Vietnam at the moment. Maybe next year it will change. Maybe 2 years later it will change. 5 years later it will change. I don't know. But at the moment they don't do it. So this student from Nagoya, Japan, who is asking us about taxes, right, where he owes the taxes. So the question, so I just want to ask, I want to share with you guys how to ask that question correctly, okay? The question he should ask is not whether he should pay taxes in Vietnam or Japan. The question he should ask is, hey, if I am a Vietnamese citizen and I currently live and work in Japan, am I a tax resident of Japan or am I a tax resident of Vietnam? That's the question that he needs to ask. And when you go to a tax attorney or a accountant, that is the question that you would ask them, and in that way they will answer you correctly. Okay, so if you guys ask the right questions or the correct questions, that also helps you get the answers more accurately. Okay, we got another question here from our students from Sydney, from Andy in Sydney. Okay, he asks, he says, if altcoins in our portfolio have performed extremely well and is dominating the percentile in our portfolio, how would we go about rebalancing, as we should continue longing our winners and cutting our losers? Okay, so that question right here, right, that Andy is asking in Sydney, right, is that what happens, like, for example, when we have a coin, for example, we hold an altcoin, right? And it's not just an altcoin, but it's any coins, right? So if we hold a coin right here, and let's say for Bitcoin, it grows up, and we rebalance our portfolio every quarter, okay? Once a quarter, at the beginning of each quarter, right? And we rebalance it. So let's just say that today, let's pretend that today, right, was October 1st, and the Taifu index right here shows that we should hold 49% Bitcoin in our portfolio, and our current portfolio has 53% Bitcoin. Then we would sell that, the difference between this, where you take 53% right here, right there, you would take 53, right, minus the 49.353, and that would be 3.647%, right? So let's just say you have $100,000 worth of in your portfolio at that time. Then you would multiply this 3.647% times $100,000, right? And you would have to, my bad, my mistake, right? You have to change that 0.3647, change it to a decimal, times $100,000 in your portfolio, and you would have to sell $3,647 worth of Bitcoins and use that to buy other coins, right? So that's how you would do it. Now, you don't have to do the math, right? Because we have a rebalance calculator here that we've created for our students, and all you have to do is just click on here, select the portfolios that you want to rebalance, how much money you're going to add to the portfolio or take out right here, add or remove, and just put the amount, and you hit calculate, and it automatically populates down here for you, all right, what the amounts are. And it's fairly accurate, okay? It's not 100% accurate yet. Okay, I'm just letting you guys know at the moment it's not 100% accurate yet because we have an issue with this US dollar right here that's in there. Okay, so notice how there's a 15% US dollars in there. That's supposed to be 20%. So on that day, you would have to sell some of your crypto and move that money over into the ammo portion, the capital portion of your portfolio right there. Okay, so that's how you would do it. And it doesn't matter, Andy was asking me about the altcoin if it grows up, right? It doesn't matter if it's an altcoin or not. It's any coins in our portfolio, we would have to sell some of it to rebalance it. So for example, like Solana went from 0.8 to 1.716. We would, if that was on this day, then we would have to sell some of this Solana to move into other coins, whether it's US dollars or whether it's other coins on the list. And that's how you would rebalance it. Now, some of our students are asking us, Ty, why do you guys rebalance your portfolio every quarter? Why don't you rebalance it every month or every week or every 2 months? Why did you select every quarter, right? The reason why we select every quarter is because that is a standard accounting procedure, okay, on Wall Street. So we just go, there are certain things that Wall Street has already invented and it works fine and we just go along with it, okay? Now, if you change it and you rebalance every 2 months, it would not matter. Like the difference does not matter, okay? Because it might make a difference in 1 quarter or 1 month or 1 year, but if you use the same methodology over a large sample size, over many quarters and many years and many market cycles, it makes no difference, okay? It makes no difference. Now, some of you guys are sitting there right now and you think it does make a difference if you rebalance every month or every 2 months, right? That's only because you guys don't understand how math works. If you guys understand how probability and statistics work, you will understand that over a large sample size, over multiple cycles and multiple years, if you have a large number of it, it makes absolutely, the difference that it makes is so little that it's not worth wasting time and talking about it. Now, on our team, and our students, we have students and we have team members that live in Western countries right now where they tax you on crypto, like in the US, right? So for those students and those team members, we encourage them to look carefully, okay? Like for example, Bitcoin goes from 49 to 53%, right? We encourage our Western students or our students that's in the tax-paying countries to ask themselves, is this worth the tax? Okay, if you rebalance this quarter, right, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Okay, for example, you come over here to the rebalance calculator here, and you see that we have to bring in about 4.5% from crypto and bring it into the ammunition or the ammo portion of our portfolio. So we have to sell about 4.5% and move it over to fiat, right, into US dollars, into the capital bucket or the ammo bucket. And you have to ask yourself, right, if I do that, how much taxes do I owe? And if I owe a lot of taxes on it, then it may not be worth it to even rebalance. So even though our system says we got to rebalance, we have to ask ourselves, okay, if we sell it and we have to pay like 20, 30, 40, 50% taxes, right? It's not worth it. For example, right? If all this happened since the beginning, if we bought on January 1st, 2023, and we have to sell Bitcoin, we have to sell Solana, we have to sell all these coins to rebalance the portfolio, then we know that we did not hold the crypto for 1 year. Okay, so they're going to charge, the government is going to charge a short-term capital gains tax on it, which is the same as labor income or ordinary income or paycheck income or salary income, right? So if I was still living in the state of Texas, right, then my income, this would be about 30% taxes. If I live in California, that would be, on the high end, I would have to pay about 55% taxes, okay, in California, right? Because they treat all the taxes as ordinary income, and then since I'm in the highest tax bracket, I'm gonna have to pay like 55%. Now, in Texas, I'm going to pay in the 30-something%, but either way, you have to ask yourself, right, am I willing to give a third of my profits away to the tax man? And the cycle's not even over. I'm not even taking profits. I'm just rebalancing my portfolio, and I got to give a third of it, of that profit, to the government, or I got to give 55% of it to the government. You have to think and talk to your accountant and your tax attorney and your advisors and ask them, is this worth the rebalance? For many of our students, right, for many of our students in America, it is not worth it for them to rebalance when it's under 5% difference, right? So it has to be a bigger gap, like 10, 15, 20% difference in order for them to rebalance their portfolio, okay? If it's just 1 or 2%, it's not worth it because they have to pay a lot of taxes on it, because if we bought at the beginning of the year, it's not 12 months yet, so we have to pay short-term capital gains tax. So be aware of that, guys. When we teach you guys the Taifu investing system, you have to take what we teach you guys and then talk, and talk to your tax attorneys and talk to your licensed accountants and see if this makes tax sense or not. Okay, now if you're in Vietnam right now, or in like Dubai, or like in Singapore where they don't tax on capital gains, or in Malaysia, right, then the rebalance is every quarter. Okay, so I hope that answers your question right there, Andy, right? It's not just altcoins, but it's any coins in your portfolio that need to be rebalanced. Ask yourself, is there a benefit to rebalancing? If there is, rebalance. But if the tax payments hurt your rebalance, then I would just hold on to it. Now, if let's say that I needed to rebalance, right? If I was a tax resident of the U.S. and I needed to rebalance my portfolio in the fourth quarter, like on October 1st, I would say, okay, I got 3 more months, right? And I'll pay less of a tax. Okay, so I would just wait the next 3 months so that I can pay the capital gains tax and not the labor tax or the ordinary income tax, right? So, for example, if I had to rebalance my portfolio, instead of doing it on October 1st, right, I would have to pay like 30-something%, like let's say 33% tax in the state of Texas, right? But if I wait until January 1st, 2024 to rebalance, just 3 more months, then now I only have to pay like maybe 10 or 15% tax, okay? So I have to look at that and say, okay, I'm just gonna let my portfolio be off balance, unbalanced for 3 more months, just so I can pay less taxes, all right? Now, remember guys, I am not a licensed tax advisor. I am not a licensed tax attorney. I'm not a licensed financial advisor in any country, okay? I left Vietnam in 1977 as a Vietnamese refugee. I lived in the Malaysian refugee camps for over a year. When I immigrated to America, my family was poor and dumb as shit and uneducated, so we moved to a poor ghetto black neighborhood to live. I chose a wrong set of friends, and some of my black friends and I, we went and sold drugs, and the cops busted us and put me in prison for almost 14 years. I'm not allowed to get any kind of licenses in the U.S. or in any country, right? And I don't have licenses in any country. So everything I share with you guys is based on my personal experience and my team's experience and my students' experience, okay? Go talk to your tax attorney and your professional accountant, okay, for tax advice. Don't listen to someone that dropped out of high school like I did and went to prison for 14 years, okay? Don't listen to me about taxes, okay, or financial advice. Go find a goddamn professional, okay? Now, I will say this, okay? I've never met a financial advisor in my life, and I've never met a tax attorney in my life, and I've never met a licensed accountant in my life that has made more money than our team, okay? So I'm just sharing with you guys what I know, okay? I have not met them, okay? If you guys have, then that's awesome, but I personally have not met them, okay? I got another question from one of our students, Tang. He's in the U.S. I don't know what city he's in. If you can text me the city that you're in, that'd be easier, right? He says, hey, Ty, I started buying at the beginning of 2023, but I didn't have enough money to buy a larger percentage of coins like I want to buy. So in the middle of the year, I started to buy a bigger percentage, so my average price is a higher cost than my total percentage profit. It's just about 30%, okay? And I didn't rebalance. Okay, that's fine. If we started buying at the beginning of the year, but for some reason you don't have money, you didn't get a lot of money, and you just had to buy a little bit at a time, and you didn't get a bigger lump sum of money until later on in the year, and you only made 30% profit while the market went up 77%, then that's normal. I mean, you're following our system that we teach. It's just that you didn't have a lot of money at that time at the beginning of the year, and then later on you got a bonus, you got a tax return, you sold your house, or you sold your car, or your parents died and they left you some money, and now you have more money to put into the market, right? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Now, when he says I didn't rebalance, right, I don't know why you would pay us to learn from us, and we rebalance every quarter and you are not doing it. I don't know why you would do that, right? Last time, because it had not made a big change. Oh, okay. He says that his portfolio did not make a big change, right? And he said, plus his ego. Okay, so at least he's honest about it. He admits that, hey, my ego, I didn't want to listen to you guys, because I think I'm smarter and I think I'm better, even though I'm the one paying you guys to teach me how to do it, right? So we have that. We have students that pay us to learn our Taifu investing system and study our cryptocurrency investing blueprint. They pay us to learn, right, how to build a investing system that produces consistent profits in every market cycle. But then after they pay us, they think they're smarter than us, and they think that they're better than us, and they think they know how to build a better system, right? We do have students that do that, so that's not new, right? He says, how can I use 15% extra? He says he's going to get an increase in salary in 2024. How can I use 15% extra from my salary to rebalance? And how can I deal with tax when I sell some altcoins to rebalance? Okay, well, he texted me, he's from Delaware, which is a state in America near New York, right in the northeast part of America. He has to talk to a licensed tax attorney or a licensed tax accountant about his taxes, because I don't know the state tax in Delaware. I only know the state taxes in Texas and in California, because those are the two states that I spent a lot of time living and working in. Okay, so as far as the 15% extra from the salary, all right, it doesn't matter if he gets an extra 15% from salary next year or not. If in 2024 we're in the gray middle 1/3 area and the top 1/3 red area, it doesn't matter if he has extra money. If you have extra money, I would take that money and put it into my spending bucket or my living expense bucket, right? So we got 3 buckets, right? The living expense bucket over here, and then we got the ammo bucket or the investment capital bucket over here, and then we got the investment portfolio over here, right? So if you have extra money and we're in the gray middle area or the gray top 1/3 area, then I would just take that money and just put it into the expense bucket. And then what does that do? That increases my runway. That increases the amount of months and years of savings that I have. And then when it's time to take profits, I can delay my profit taking a little bit longer, right? Because I don't have to put money into the spending bucket or the expense bucket, right? I can let my money over here go a little bit farther and make a little bit more profits. So you're going to make up for it in that way. So don't think that it's a bad thing, okay? A lot of people think that, oh, if I have money here, sitting here is not doing anything, right? And it's just sitting in my ammo bucket, not doing anything, not making a profit, that's bad. No, it's not. Okay, only poor people that do not know how to create wealth, poor people that do not know how to make money, poor people that do not understand about money, poor people that don't have experience making money, they always worry about trying to put their capital to work. Okay, that is a poor ghetto mindset. That is a poverty mindset. Rich people, wealthy people, and people that know how to make money and create wealth, they do not think like that. What they focus on is an opportunity. So if they have 20% of their capital in a bucket and just sitting there, it sits there and it waits, because they know that having capital when there's a good opportunity, that can help you make life-changing profits quicker and faster. However, if you see an opportunity but you have no capital, then you're not going to be able to make life-changing profits. Okay? So rich, wealthy people that know how to make money and create wealth, they value having capital to take advantage of an opportunity. Whereas poor, ghetto, poverty mindset people, they value utilizing their capital all the time. Okay, because they think that putting their money to work is how you create wealth. No, it's not. Okay, that's not how you create wealth. That's how poor people lose money. All right. Okay, I got another question here from one of our students, Yasin, in Penang, Malaysia, right? And he asks, okay, well, he doesn't ask. He just sent me something. Okay. He just sent me an AI video. Okay, let's see what you guys, if you are one of our students, right, and you have a question, just send me the question in the Signal group chat. Send it to me on Signal and I'll answer it here, right? So let me go back to the YouTube comments here to see if there's any questions. If you guys have questions, leave it in there, right? Put a question mark on it so I'll know it's a question, right? Okay, N4D Gain says that we are one of the few serious YouTube channels in this crypto industry, okay, or one of the few traders. Yeah, there's so many fucking bullshit traders and investors out there in the markets, guys. I lost like so much money when I first started learning how to trade and invest in the stock market and the forex market and the commodities market. And I always wish that there was somebody that would just fucking tell the goddamn truth. You know what I'm saying? Just say the goddamn truth. Even if that truth is just their own personal experience, that's fine. Just tell me the truth. Stop fucking making up shit. Stop saying stupid shit, you know, so that, you know, it doesn't help anybody. And I wanted to become a trader, a good trader and a good investor really, really bad, right? When I was in prison for the 14 years I was in prison, right? I grew up in my life in America. In the elementary school years, I grew up picking fruit and vegetables in the farm fields in Salem, Oregon. And then later on we saved up money and then I moved down to Texas, right? And we saved up money and we started working in the sweatshops, sewing clothes. So my brother and I, we would sew about 500 to 2,000 garments each week of women's dresses, women's blouses, shirts and stuff like that. And then we saved up money there while we were working like that in the sweatshops around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, right, when I was in middle school. And we saved up money, and then we moved down near Houston, around the Houston and around the Beaumont, Port Arthur area to fix commercial fishing boats and shrimp boats. And that was throughout my high school years. And then I dropped out of high school and then went and hung around the wrong people and got involved in drugs, and that's how I went to prison. And so during all that time, right, I did not want to sell drugs. I didn't want to do things that I hate drugs. I actually hate drugs. All right, I don't like hurting people, but when you're poor, you're desperate, and you don't have nothing to eat and shit like that, you know, you do a lot of stupid and desperate shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like doing that. I've always wanted to do the right things, you know, whether it's the right thing in Christianity, in Buddhism, in Islam. I wanted to do the right thing with other people. And the thing that hurt me a lot was that it was so hard to find accurate information on how to become wealthy, how to escape the ghetto, how to escape poverty. And I always told myself that when I was in prison, that if I ever figure out how to become wealthy or how to escape poverty or how to escape the ghetto, right, that I would share it with other people, right? And I would share the truth. I would not share the bullshit and hype it up and all that other shit. That's the reason why you don't see any edited videos on my channel. You don't see any blowjob thumbnails on my channel. You don't see any clickbait. You don't see any of that dumb shit, right? Because I know that everyone out there is going for clickbait, okay? Everyone is trying to go for views and subscribers and shit, right? And I just want to be a channel where people say, hey, you know what? How do I grow a portfolio to get to a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio, okay? And in case English is not your primary language, a 7-figure portfolio means 7 numbers, okay? Like this. 7 figures means it's a $1 million portfolio because there's 7 numbers there, okay? And then a 8-figure portfolio would be 10 million because there's 8 numbers there, okay? 8 figures. Okay, in English we say 8 figures, right? And then 9 figures would be that, right there. Okay, so it'd be 100 million. Okay, and some of you guys might say, "Oh, Ty, you guys are full of shit. You guys haven't, surpassed 10 million or 100 million, right?" And you're right. I personally have not cracked, $100 million yet, not yet. Okay, but if you ask me on our team has surpassed $100 million fucking a long time ago. Okay, that is nothing new to us. Okay, so whenever we talk about sharing our knowledge and experience of how to grow a portfolio to a large number, like 7, 8, 9 figures, right? We have done that already, or else we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. Okay, so now if you don't believe it, that's fine. I mean, I really don't care. Go to another channel to listen to them. Okay, go listen to Dumbass BitBoy or one of those other fucking dumbass channels. Okay, but our channel is for the people who are genuinely serious about learning about how do I grow a portfolio to a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio and keep it. Not just get it up to that point, but be able to keep it as well, okay? So that's what we try to do, okay? And, you know, a lot of people say, hey, Ty, you know, you guys, you know, there's always students that ask us, hey, Ty, you guys broadcast a lot of really good, useful information that's valuable in crypto investing and just investing in general. How come you guys don't have a lot of followers on y'all's channel? And the answer is very simple, guys. The amount of people that want to make, you know, 7, 8, 9 figures, right, it's just fucking small, man. Like, if I tell this to people all the time in Vietnam, and they find it really hard to believe. You know, when I ask people like, "Hey, do you like to eat apples?" Yeah. Are there people that don't like to eat apples? Yeah. People like to eat mangoes? Yeah. Are there people that don't like to eat mangoes? Yeah. Are there people that like Samsung phones? Yeah. Are there people that dislike Samsung phones? Yeah. Are there people that like iPhones? Yeah. Are there people that dislike iPhones? Yeah. I'm one of those people, I don't give a fuck about iPhones. I think they're the fucking stupidest phones, you know. I've never owned an iPhone. I remember working on Wall Street, and our company bought me the first iPhone 5. It was a gold and white iPhone, right? And when they bought it for me, I didn't even use it. I used it for a few hours, and then I took the SIM card out and went and bought my own Samsung phone and used the Samsung phone instead. And the girl in the human resources department, the HR department, you know, she saw after 2-3 months, she saw that on the company bill that I was not using the iPhone that she had bought for me, that the company had bought for me, and that that I was using a Samsung phone. And she called me up and she goes like, "Hey, we noticed in the phone bill report you're the only one using a Samsung phone. Everybody else is using the iPhone that the company bought." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a fucking stupid ass phone." And she's like, "What'd you do with it?" I said, "I just fucking threw it in the shelf, in the closet at home." And she goes, "Well, we bought that phone for you to use." And I said, "Yeah, but it fucking sucks. It doesn't do what I need it to do. Like the Samsung phones allows me to open 2 windows at the same time. So when I talk to students, right, I can log on and talk to students on one screen, and on another screen I can open up their profile. I can open up their account, and I can look at what they're doing and look at the notes I recorded for that student. And with the iPhone, I cannot do that, right? So fucking, it's a bullshit phone." And she goes, she was so pissed off, like, "We bought you the first iPhone, gold and white iPhone 5 in our company." You know, there's like 520 employees at that time. And like, "You were the first one to get it and you didn't use it?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a fucking, it doesn't do what I want it to do. What do you want me to do?" And she goes, "Well, if you're not going to use it, you know, send it back to us." And I was like, "Okay." So I put it back in the box, and, you know, I sent it back to her, and she's like all pissed off and shit. And I was like, what the fuck, you know? So there are people that like iPhones, there are people that don't like iPhones, right? So what I'm saying is that there are people out there that like to make money like myself. Like, I want to become a fucking billionaire. But there are people out there that actually hate doing that. Like, there's people that hate being rich. Like in my family, like my dad hates to be rich. You know, he prefer to be poor and homeless. My mom hates to be rich. She likes to prefer to be poor, right? I can buy my mom any fucking house that she wants in Vietnam right now. If she wants to build the biggest freaking mansion or home in her village, I can do it for her, right? Does she want it? No. My little brother, he's homeless, right? He lives in a fucking shitty goddamn shack in Saigon. My older brother, right? He's broke as shit, right? Most of my family, they're all poor and broke as shit. And when I try to help them make money, they all actually fucking hate me when I try to help them, right? When I try to show them how to make money and help them how to invest and everything, how to manage money and shit, they actually despise me, right? They actually get pissed off when I show them, okay? So why am I saying that? Why am I saying that to you guys, right? Not everyone likes to make money. Not everyone likes to be rich. Not everyone likes to, you know, be wealthy. Some people like to be poor. Some people like to be wealthy. Some people like to be rich. Some people like to live in poverty, okay? Not everyone likes the same thing. You know, I like girls. I like, you know, to bang girls, right? I like to bang my wife. She's a girl, right? There are guys out there that don't like to bang girls. They like to bang other guys, right? There are guys that I met in prison. They don't like to bang girls. They don't like to bang guys. They like to bang chickens and goats and animals on the farm, okay? So everybody has a different preference, okay? So you cannot sit there and worry about what other people do, right? You worry about yourself, okay? Next question here. Genghis Khan said he began buying in June 2022. Okay, well, that's he began buying in 2022, and he says that he's up like 120% earlier, or 159%. I forget what it was, right? But Genghis Khan, if you bought since June 2022, and we're talking about from January 2023, you got to be clear and say that, hey man, my profits since the beginning of the year is X amount. You can't count the profits from June 2022 when we're comparing January 2023, okay? Fong says that Robert Kiyosaki still buys silver and gold. Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki is actually, his book actually inspired me to become wealthy. Like before I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, right? It never once crossed my mind to become a millionaire. It never once crossed my mind, because I thought that making money, creating wealth was something that God gave you, or something that Buddha gave you, or something that Allah gave you, right? I never thought that I was born to be rich. Okay, I thought if you're rich, you know, you're lucky you were born in a family that was rich, or you hit the lottery, or you know, you walk out in the mountains and you find a kilo of gold, you know, on the ground or something. That's how you become rich. I did not know that you can become rich by learning about money, by learning about building business systems, and by learning about investing, right? And building a good investing system. I did not know that, okay, until I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in prison. And as a matter of fact, I read that book in 2004 or 5, 2005, I think, right? I came out of prison near the end of 2006. So I read that about a year and a half or two before I got out of prison. And that's what made me realize, oh, shit. So if I want to become rich, all I got to do is just learn about finances, learn about business, and build a business or build an investing system, and I can become rich. And that's when I put my mind to, okay, you know, even if I'm slow, right? Even if I'm stupid, I know I'm not born that smart. You know, I mean, Leon, my business partner, is way smarter than I am. My business partner, David, he's way smarter than I am, right? But no matter how dumb I am, I know that my desire to learn and my desire to get out of the ghetto and to get out of poverty and become wealthy, I know that that desire is not going to go away. And I know that I have a strong desire. And I believe that even if I'm dumb, if somebody teaches me how to do it, I am capable of learning it. Even if I learn slowly, I am capable of learning it. Okay? It took me like 10 years to learn Spanish. I don't give a shit. Okay, some people say, oh, that takes too long, I'm not going to learn it. Well, it's tough for you, right? I speak Spanish now because I invested the time to learn it. Now, are there guys that can learn Spanish in 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? Great for them. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if another guy takes 1 year to learn something and it takes me 10 years. If I want to learn how to do it, I don't care if it takes me 5 or 10 years. I don't care, okay? Because here I am, right? People can laugh and say that I'm stupid or I'm slow or whatever, but guess what? I retired at 44 years old. I've been retired since 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. And we're about to finish. So I've been retired for 7 years now, right? For being a fucking dumbass that grew up in the refugee camps in Malaysia and went to America and grew up in the poor ghetto black neighborhoods in America and then to live in prison for 14 years in an American prison, right? And to come out and become a multi-millionaire, I don't give a shit how long it takes, right? So people can say I'm stupid, that's great, but they're still working and I'm retired. They can call themselves smarter, I don't care, okay? So I'm living the life that I want to live. Let them live the life they want to live, okay? So Robert Kiyosaki says buy silver and gold. I think that's the dumbest fucking thing that you can tell somebody. That, out of all the dumb things that I've done in my life, right, buying gold and silver would be as dumb as me selling drugs when I was 16, 17 years old. That's how dumb that is, okay? Because gold and silver does not go up. People think, oh, it goes up to 2,000, Ty, what are you talking about? No, it doesn't. Fucking gold and silver, there's plenty of fucking gold and silver in the world, guys. There are plenty of gold and silver in the world. Okay? I don't know why people think that that's a scarce asset. It is not scarce. Okay? Silver is plentiful. Gold plentiful, okay? Now, is it worth it for someone to go and dig and get that gold out of the earth, right? Well, if the price is high enough, it's worth it. And if the price is not high enough, then it's not worth it. So all the miners, the gold miners, right, they sit around, and if the price goes up high enough, then they turn on their excavators and their machines and they start digging and find more gold. And if the price is not profitable, then they stop. So what does that tell you? It tells you that there's plenty of gold out there. Okay, if the price is good, they'll dig for more. If the price is not good, they slow down and they don't dig as much and mine as much for gold. So to me, buying gold and silver, that has to be one of the dumbest fucking investments ever, right? Why? Because the only reason why price of gold and silver goes up is because of the inflation. It didn't go up. If you buy gold and silver like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, it doesn't even beat inflation. It doesn't even beat inflation. Okay, so that's, Robert Kiyosaki, there's a lot of things that he teaches that are good, right? But telling people to buy gold and silver, that has to be one of his dumbest fucking moves, okay? And some people say, hey, Ty, who are you to say that, Well, I mean, if your goal is to make money and make life-changing profits, buying gold and silver is not going to make life-changing profits. You don't have to be a fucking genius. Look at the gold charts. Has it gone up? No. Simple, right? Why do you have to make a lot of money to know certain things? You need to look at the fucking charts and do the math, right? Tran says it would be great when you make your webcam size smaller, then we're able to see better chart. Okay, yeah, we'll make the webcam video smaller if I'm blowing it up, but I'm blowing up this chart. You can see this chart right here. Like, the video's right there. I mean, am I hiding the chart? Okay. Shug Atu, he says, hey Ty, is it a good idea to continue dollar cost averaging now even most of the token are going up, or wait till it goes down? Well, I mean, I already told you guys, I don't know what system you're using, but in our system, we don't buy when it's in the gray. So the answer is no. The answer is no. Now, there's one situation where you buy in the gray. Okay, there is one situation, and that situation is if you are watching this video for the very first time. You don't know about crypto. You've never invested into crypto, and this is the first time that you know about the cryptocurrency market, and whoever told you about this channel and about us, that's a good friend. That's a good friend. He knows how to recognize talent. I would thank him. I would go buy him a beer, go buy him a hamburger, buy him a ribeye steak, and thank him for introducing you to this channel. And if you're new to the crypto market, then that would be okay to buy in the gray, all right, because you didn't know before, right? And the only coin that I would buy would be Bitcoin. That's it. No other coins. I would only buy Bitcoins in the gray, right? Why? Because if you buy now and the market crashes 50% from here, from 900 points down to 450 points down here, right? The only coin that has proven that it can go back up and hit new highs is Bitcoin. That's the only coin that has done that consistently in every market cycle, all right? There's one or two other coins like Ethereum, Cardano, but they've only done it for like one cycle or maybe two cycles, and I would not trust that. The only coin I would buy right now if I was new to crypto is Bitcoin. And some people say, but Ty, Bitcoin is like 37,000, 40,000. Why would I buy right now when it's so high? Because if you say that, it's because you don't understand how investing works. When you invest, you are investing to make a profit. You are not investing to buy cheap coins. You're investing to make a profit, okay? And you're investing into coins and projects that have the highest probability to make a profit, right? And the probability that Bitcoin goes up is a lot higher than all the other coins, right? When you are late to the markets, when you are late, okay? You need to invest in a coin that you know has the highest probability of going up. You don't invest into the coin because it has a cheap price. Okay? We don't invest into coins for cheap. That's not our goal. Our goal is to make life-changing profits. And if our goal is to make life-changing profits, we have to ask ourselves, okay, which coin has the highest probability of going up? Okay, so there's two different focuses there. If you focus on buying cheap coins, then you will end up buying fucking bullshit cheap coins like the meme coins like Sheeb, Floki, Baby Doge, and coins like that. But if you invest into making life-changing profits, then you look at the majority of your money will go into coins that have the highest probability of going up. Okay, when I say that don't invest in the cheap coins, what I mean is that don't put the majority of your money. Like if you have like $100 to invest, don't put $100 into a cheap coin, right? Maybe put like maybe $10 or $20 of that into a low cheap cost coin like Dogecoin or Shiba or Pepe. That's fine. But the bulk of your money, like 70, 80, 90% of your money should go into a coin that has the highest potential of going up. Why? Because you need to make a profit and you need the coin to go up to make a profit. It doesn't matter if you buy the cheapest coin but it doesn't go up, right? For example, if you buy the bullshit Hex coin from that scammer, right, named Richard Hart, you know, the American scammer Richard Hart that's being investigated by the SEC. I've been telling people for 3-4 years now that that's a fucking scammer and that's a goddamn scam coin that you're buying, right? If you buy his scam coin called Hex, right, that is cheap. But what is the probability that it's going to go up? The probability is very low because he's breaking the law, right? What law is he breaking? Well, he raised money to build the Hex project and he didn't register and get permission from the US government, okay? If he was a Vietnamese and he was building Hex, that probably wouldn't be a big deal because he doesn't need to get permission from the Vietnamese government to build the Hex coin, right? But since he's an American citizen, right, and he's living in America, and he's raising money to build a coin, he needs to register with the government and get permission from the government first before he does that. And that's the reason why I called him a scammer all these years, right? Because he intentionally, he knew that it was illegal to raise money to build a coin project, right, without registering with the government and getting permission from the US government, and he did it anyway. All right, and he tried to say that he's not breaking the law. Well, it doesn't fucking matter what you say. It's the action that you did that counts. Like I can say that, hey, right, that I didn't sell drugs, right, but hey, apparently they found a few grams on me, so that's what they put me in prison for. Now, did I have 6.5 kilos of cocaine? No, I didn't. Okay, I only had 65 grams of cocaine. Does the government give a shit? No, they don't. Did I get penalized for having 65 grams of coke? No. They penalized me for having 6.5 kilos of coke, which is 6,500 grams of coke. You can sit there and say and bitch, I can sit there and bitch and complain that, hey, why did they sentence me to 6,500 grams of cocaine for? All I had was 65 grams of cocaine. Who gives a shit? The public does not care. The courts do not care. The government does not care. Nobody cares. Okay? You broke the law. And, you know, the best thing they want to do in America is just execute you and just kill you. Okay? They don't give a shit how much. If you have 1 gram, 2 grams, 10 grams, 10 kilos, a ton of cocaine, they don't give a shit. You broke the law, throw his ass in there. Okay? Now, are there laws for, you know, you sentence, for my drug case, I should have gotten probation. That was the law. Okay? If you have 65 grams of cocaine, the penalty for that is probation for a teenager. Okay? But they didn't do that. They put me in prison for fucking goddamn 14 years for that shit. Okay? So, but I'm not going to bitch and complain about it, right? I broke the law, fucking throw my ass in prison. There's no bitching and crying. Don't like to go to prison, don't break the law. Simple as that, right? Doesn't matter if you break a small law or big law, throw your ass in prison. That's how the American justice system works. So you don't have the right to bitch and complain about being sentenced improperly when you break the law, because the American justice system does not give a shit what law you broke. As long as you break the law, throw your ass in prison. Okay? Even if you break the law and it doesn't require you to go to prison, who cares? Just throw your ass in prison, because that's easier that way. Right? Okay, so let's see what other questions we got here before we wrap it up here. You see, this is the reason why you guys asked me, like, hey, how come you don't broadcast more English videos? Because we've been doing it for 10 years and most of our students already know. Okay? So David asked, in an event like the COVID crash in March of 2023, right? Should I go all in, use all the money I have in my ammo bucket and just go all in, right? The answer is no. We always maintain 20%. right? So what happens if it crashes and all we have is 20%? I would just use like 1 or 2%, that's it. 1, 2, 3%, maximum 5%. I would not use all of it. Because the reason why you don't use all of it is because what happens if it crashes 50%, you go all in, and then after you buy all, you use all your capital, what happens if the market crashes another 50%? You don't have no capital left, okay? So you don't know that. You don't know when the market's going up, you don't know when the market's going down. So stop investing as if you know when it's going to go up and when it's going to go down, okay? Tran asks, yes, when I put all the coins I bought from opportunist capital into the same category, I want to manage 20% of this, 8% upper cap by adding USD only for opportunity purpose to my portfolio. Yeah, so 20% of our capital is sitting there waiting for opportunities, and you can leave it in USDC, you can leave it in USDT, and you can record that as USDT or USDC in the Taifu Portfolio Manager in the software right here, okay? Yeah, we use the ammo and we rebalance it every quarter, right? So here's the thing. We want 20% in our capital or our ammo bucket, and we want 80% in our investment portfolio. And this one is moving up and down. This one is moving up and down. So think about this, guys. If my 80% over here doubles, then what's going to happen to this one? This one's going to get cut in half. So that means we have to sell some on this side to bring this side back up, back up. Now, what happens if the markets crash? Well, if it crashes 50%, then you lose 50% of that 80% capital, which means that if you lose 50% here, then that means this is going to gain 50% here. So that's when we use this capital over here to buy some of the coins while it's crashing to fill this back up. So we're constantly balancing our ammo in our portfolio, and that's how large-scale investing is done. You constantly have to manage that. That is the skill that you want to learn. If you guys want to grow a 7, 8, 9-figure portfolio and maintain it and hold it and keep it, that is the skill that you have to learn, is when to increase and decrease. Remember, there's 2 skills that makes you a trader. If you don't know these 2 skills, then you're not a trader. I mean, you're a gambler, you're a hit and miss guy, you're a lucky guy. There's a lot of things that you can be, but you cannot claim to be a trader or a good investor if you don't know these 2 skills. The first skill that you need to know is how to control your bet size depending on the strategy that you're using. If I'm using this strategy, A over here, right? Let's say if I'm using a day trading strategy, what is my bet size that I use for each trade, okay? For this, it's usually 1/4% to 1%, and maximum is 2%. For a day trading strategy. A short-term day trading strategy, less than that. If you're investing into a index strategy like the one that we teach in the Taifu investing system, right? Then what's the bet size here when you initiate a position or when you start buying? What is the bet size? And that's going to vary on math depending upon the market cap of that coin, okay? And then if you're in a trending strategy, what bet size do you use? So the first skill that you have to know is, what is the bet size that I use depending on the strategy that I'm using? Okay, that's the first skill. The second skill that makes you a trader or an investor is, how do I increase or decrease my bet size depending upon the market conditions? So down here in the green area, I would start, right, increasing my bet size. So if we increase our bet size, right, what are we doing? We are buying, right? When we get up to the red here, we're going to look for opportunities. We're not going to decrease our bet size. We're not going to decrease it. We are looking for an opportunity to decrease the bet size, okay? So when we come up here, when we decrease our bet size, right, what are we doing? We are selling. Okay, so the 2 skills that makes you a good trader or investor is, what is the bet size that I use when I start the trade, depending on the strategy I'm using? And number 2 is, how do I increase and decrease my bet size depending upon the current market conditions? Okay, so those are the 2 skills that makes you a good trader or not. If you don't know that, I highly recommend that you just look down here and go get a copy of the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint so that you know how to do that and stop fucking around and trying to figure it out on your own. You are not going to be able to figure it out on your own if you don't know. If you don't have someone guiding you on these skills, it's not something that you go figure out on your own. You can spend another 20 years on the markets and you still would not know these two skills. Because the reason why is because these skills are abstract. Okay, you can learn how to cook a pot of rice by watching someone. You can learn how to skin a deer, okay, by watching someone. You can learn how to hunt wild pigs by watching someone. You cannot learn how to invest by watching someone, okay, or on the internet. The reason why is because it's an abstract skill. So when it's an abstract skill, you have to see what they're doing. They have to explain to you what they're doing, right? When you see someone hunt a wild pig or skin a wild pig or cook barbecue or something like that, your eyes can watch them and see them do it. So it's a visible skill that you can watch and see. Okay, if I'm trading, if I'm sitting here moving this mouse around and I'm just drawing lines and shit and coloring it red or gray or green, you have no fucking idea what I'm doing. You have no idea what I'm thinking in my head and why I'm doing that. If I didn't sit here and explain to you guys what I'm doing, all you would see me do is this. How the fuck are you going to learn that shit? How would you learn how to trade a fucking $1 million, $10 million, or $100 million portfolio watching somebody just do this? You're a fucking idiot if you think that you can actually learn that shit just by watching somebody draw a few lines, right? Somebody's got to draw those lines, explain to you what they are doing, what they're thinking, and then you have to be able to ask that person questions if you get stuck, like what my students are doing right now. They're stuck, they're uncertain about something, they ask me questions, and so you have to put yourself in a situation where somebody's explaining to you and you have an opportunity to get answers when you're stuck. Like you're online, you're learning this shit online, and you look watching a bunch of fucking YouTube videos and shit, and you get stuck with something, who do you ask? Right? So either you're gonna lose money trying to figure it out on your own in the markets, or go get a course and learn how to do it. You don't even have to get our course. Get somebody else's course if you want, right? But at least give yourself the highest probability of success by learning from the experience of other people, right? The reason, let me share you guys this, okay? Do you guys know why China is one of the most advanced countries in the world? Do you guys know why? What did China do that made them more advanced than many other countries? And you know the country that's coming behind, right behind China, that I think is really huge also, right, is India. What did India do? What did China do that's going to put them at the top? Okay, China got colonized and got invaded by the Europeans, right? Because they had a weak emperor, and then I don't know what happened in India. They must have had a weak leader too that couldn't protect its borders, and so the Europeans came in and colonized it. But now India is back under the control of the Indian people. China is under the control of the Chinese people, right? Those two countries right there are going to be powerhouses, right? How do we know that? Well, they're putting people out in space, building space stations out there. They're sending rockets to the moon, right? You cannot be a weak-ass civilization and put fucking goddamn robots on the moon. You cannot do that. You cannot be a weak-ass nation if you are building aircraft carriers and fighter jets, okay? That, you have to be a pretty fucking smart civilization to be able to do shit like that, okay? And the reason why the Chinese and the Indians are able to do this shit, okay, is because of one simple thing that other countries couldn't do. Okay, and that one simple thing is that they were able to learn from the mistakes of previous generations. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you look at the civilization of China and India, they both had a writing system. And they were able to make mistakes and write down and record the mistakes that they did and the lessons that they learned, and they passed it from one generation to the next generation. So this generation does not have to start from zero, right? This generation went from 0 to 10, and they recorded as much as they could, right? And so now this generation starts from 2 or 3, and they build on top of that. Now they go from like 3, 4, or 5, and they go to like 10, 11, and 12. And then they record, they add their experience and their lessons to this generation's lessons, right? So now this generation of men, they start from like 5 or 6 or 7, and now they take the knowledge from this, so they're already starting, they have a head start, and then they move forward. And if you keep doing that for 100 generations of men, then of course your civilization and your country is going to be way ahead, okay? One of the reasons why I created the cryptocurrency investing blueprint is because I don't want my kids to start from zero. When I came to America, right, I lived in a poor, ghetto, black-ass neighborhood. Ghetto, poor ass, okay? Me and my black friends, we were poor as shit, man, right? All of us was wearing the same jeans over and over. We were wearing the same shoes over and over, right? We went to school, everybody laughed at us, everybody made fun of us, everybody looked down on us, right? They didn't look down on us because I was Asian. They didn't look down on us because my friends were black, right? They looked down on us because we were poor people, right? And that's why they looked down on us. And all of us wanted to escape the ghetto. All of us wanted to escape poverty, but our parents did not know how to do it, right? Our family did not know how to do it. Our friends did not know how to do it. So we had to sit around and figure it out. And we looked around, how do we make money? And all we saw was people selling drugs. All we did was we looked around, hey, he's driving a nice car. What's he doing? Selling cocaine. Hey, he's wearing a nice shorts. What's he doing to make money? He's selling cocaine. What's he doing? He's selling heroin. What's he doing? He's selling marijuana. What's he doing? He's selling stolen cars. What's he doing? He's selling guns, right? So that's all we knew. That's all we knew in the ghetto, how you make money. You look around, what people are doing, right? And you do what they do. And even though we knew that selling drugs is breaking the law, we didn't know anything else. We didn't know anything else. And because I grew up in a poor neighborhood and nobody told me. So that's the reason why I consolidated all the knowledge and experience I have into the cryptocurrency investing blueprint, because that is a consolidation, right? My kids are not going to start from zero. I don't care if they start from 1. I don't care if they start from a level 1, a level 2, a level 3. I don't care, as long as they are not starting from zero, okay? So that's the reason why I compiled everything into the cryptocurrency investing blueprint. If you want to see what I'm going to teach my kids on how to invest and grow money, you're welcome to go and check it out. It's right here, right? So don't make it difficult for yourself to make life-changing profits, guys. Go learn from somebody else that has already done it. Find somebody that you can trust, whether it's me, somebody else, right? Go check it out. Right? You don't even have to buy our cryptocurrency investing blueprint. Go buy it from somebody else and learn it and give yourself a head start. Don't go out there and waste years like we did trying to figure it out on your own, right? Great Wolf says, can you go over how profit taking works in the red area? Okay, so we're not going to take profits right here, guys. We're going to do 2 things. One is we sell small pieces, right, at like 0.25%, maybe 1% of our portfolio. Why? It's not really for profit taking, right? Profit taking is where we take like 5, 10, 20% chunks out of our portfolio. 1% or less, that's not profit taking. That's just for practice, okay? So that we will do. We will practice, right? And the second thing is we will look for an opportunity. We will look for an opportunity, okay, to take profits. For example, right? Like when I came up to here, right? When the market started going up in here, I remember, where was it at? Right here. We took profits right here. And I set a goal to have a home in Bangkok, a home in Vietnam, a home in Istanbul, in Turkey, in Europe, and places like that. So I made a list of it. You guys can watch my goal setting videos, and I share with you guys how I set the goals, right? And there were some citizenships I wanted to buy. And so when the market came up here and gave me an opportunity, I had to, we were stuck in COVID. I didn't know when it was going to last, how long it's going to last. I didn't know how long they were going to, run this COVID scam, right? So I didn't want to wait around. So this in this time right here on these green candles, I had an opportunity to take profits and buy my $1 million condo, the one I'm sitting in right now in downtown Bangkok, right? So because of that, I went and did it. Now, if it goes higher, I don't give a shit. I don't care, because the market gave me an opportunity to fulfill my financial goals. I made a list of financial goals. I want this, I need this, I need this, I need this, and it's going to help me improve the quality of my life, right? So the minute the market gave me an opportunity, then I took it. Right? So when the market goes up into the red area right here, when I say that we are looking for an opportunity to take profits, we're going to ask ourselves, okay, is there an opportunity here for me to change my life? Okay, or do I need to sit and wait a little bit longer? Okay, that's what we do with this red area, right? So in the cryptocurrency investing blueprint, we teach, right, 15 signals. Right? 15 signals, at least 15 signals that we look at in the markets. And each signal, we grade each signal, right? There's a grading system that I teach to our students in there. And why do I have a grading system? Because the purpose of a system is so that you can repeat the same actions in each market cycle, and so that you can get the same results, okay? So from our experience in 2014, right? We didn't take profits in 2014. We made a profit, but we didn't take profits. And we said, okay, next time we go into a bull market, we see these signals, we need to take some profits. Okay? So what happened in 2017? We saw those same signals, we started taking profits. Right? And then we learned, oh, you know what? We look back, because after each cycle, what our team does is we debrief. What does debrief means? Debrief means we review the actions and the decisions that we made, and we ask ourselves, can we do this better? Can we make a better decision next time? Can we see this signal earlier? Can we make the decision earlier? Can we make this action earlier? Okay, so that's what we do. We look back at it, we write it down, and we compile it, right, into a blueprint. And the cryptocurrency investing blueprint course that we have, right, that is a compilation of the things that we were thinking, the mistakes that we made, and the solutions that we created to solve for those mistakes in the next cycle. So after 2017, we looked at it and we go, oh shit, right? These signals were good. We thought they were good, but they're not good. So we need to remove those signals, right? We thought it was good, but it's actually not useful, right? These signals are better. So out of all these signals, right, we find out these signals, we thought they were going to help us take profits, and that was accurate. Comes to find out, these signals are the ones that actually helped us take profits. So we keep these 3 signals. And then we find out, hey, in addition to these 3 signals, we noticed that these were signals that told us that we should have taken profits. When we see these signals again, we should take profits here. And then we saw it again here. So these signals repeat, because human behaviors are the same. They don't change. People FOMO, people get scared. They do the same fucking shit every goddamn time. Every time the market pumps, they do the same shit. And so we observed that, okay, so we saw these signals before, but we didn't notice it. And we see it again now. Let's write it down and compile it into the cryptocurrency investing blueprint and document that. So in the future, right, in the next bull market, when we see these signals again, we know to take profits. So that's what we did. And then in 2021, we did the same thing again. We had these groups of signals, and we're like, hey, you know what? We thought that these signals were good, but actually it's not. But these signals are actually consistent. Like, it told us to take profits. When we saw these signals, we took profits in 2014. We should have taken it, but we didn't. And we saw it, and we did take profits in 2017. And then 2021, we saw those same signals, and we took profits again, right? So each of these signals, we graded and we updated. And right now, in the English course, right now in our cryptocurrency investing blueprint, we are at version 3.0. It's gone through 3 cycles already where we document everything that we did. Okay, and the Taifu Portfolio Manager software, the ones that you guys see right here, that is also upgraded, and it documents everything we did so that we can be more efficient. Our goal is to be an efficient investing team. Efficiency means, can we do the least amount of work to generate the biggest profit? Okay, that's the definition of efficient, right? And can we repeat it consistently in every market cycle? So far, we have been able to repeatedly make life-changing profits in every cycle, and we would like to be a little bit more consistent, okay? We would like to be more efficient, okay? Like the first cycle, right, in 2014, the market went up like that, we took 0 profits. In 2017, the market went up like that, we took about 25% of the move. Like the market moved this much, we captured about 25% of it, right? And then 2021, the market moved that much, we captured a bigger chunk, like 40, 50% of it. And our goal is to continue to capture a little bit more, and become more efficient, right, in each market cycle, and to be able to do it consistently the same every market cycle. So if you want to learn more about it, you are welcome to get a copy of the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint. Out of that blueprint, I would say about 55 to 60% of the entire course is on taking profits. Because why? Because that is the problem that gives our students the biggest problem, okay? We have never had any students complain about how to find coins that have the potential to make life-changing profits. We do not have any problems with students asking us about technical analysis. The students never ask us about technical analysis, about entries, right? They never ask us about bet size. They never ask us about any of these things. The biggest amount of questions that we get from our students is about profit taking. That's the reason why 60% of our course is about profit taking, okay? And we codified it and we systematized all these profit taking signals into a coherent and systematic approach so that when you see this, it's consistent. You see these signals, you grade it this way, and then you add up the points on the grade, and if it comes out to be this many points, you take this much profit. If it comes out to be this many points, that means it's the peak of the bull market is near, so you gotta take out this much profits, okay? So everything is based on math, and it's based on numbers. Why? Because we don't build our crypto investing system based on feelings and emotions, because it's really hard to show another person. It's really hard to teach my kids, hey, if you feel happy, take profits. If you feel good, take profits. We can't do that. We got to rely on numbers, okay? Everything we teach is based on numbers and math, percentages, points, decimals, fractions, okay? That's what we teach on, so that people can understand it and they can repeat it and create the same success, okay? For example, if I say, hey, 80% of our money needs to go into the markets, 20% needs to go into the ammo bucket, and just sit there and wait and use that to rebalance the portfolio every quarter, right? Notice that I said 20%. Notice I said 80%. Notice I said every 3 months. Notice I said every quarter, right? These are things that are mathematical and somebody can repeat it, right? So even if you learn it from us, even when we are not there after you learn it, it's something that you can repeat and you can teach it to your friend or to your family member. If I just teach you guys that, hey, you know what, when it feels good, take profits, when it feels warm outside, and the stars look pretty and the sun is shining and it's warm and everything, and that's when you should take profits. Like, how the fuck would you know when to take profits? That's not a very, very clear way of teaching someone how to take profits. So we go on a scale and on a point system, okay? Signals, points, grading system. That's how we teach our students to take profits, okay? Great Wolf says, how do you secure the fiat dollars in your portfolio? Right now, you temporarily use it, you log it in, right? When you go into when you create a portfolio here, right? You have to log in, create a portfolio, but when you do, you're gonna add it as USDT or USDC. I would recommend just using USDT, okay? is how do you secure the fiat dollars in your portfolio, like your spending bucket and ammo bucket, right? We are going to get data for the Forex market and the U.S. stock market, and we're going to add it to the Typhoon Portfolio Manager. This whole system here is the Typhoon Portfolio Manager down here, right? So we are going to add the U.S. stock data, and we're going to add the Forex data and the commodities data to this portfolio. Once we do that, then you will be able to log in your ammo and spending buckets, right, as US dollars. You can do it right now, right? You can do it right now. But right now, your budget, your balance sheet, and your financial dashboard, it's not connected to your portfolio easily. So you have to do it manually. But in the future, after we add the stock and Forex and commodities data, right, then it will do it automatically for you. So you can do it temporarily right now, do it manually, and then you can change it over to the automatic system later on once we upgrade the software, right? Okay, so Great Wolf says that the U.S. had a lot of trouble with the banks. You heard of Silicon Valley and Signature Bank and stuff like that collapsed, right? So, Great Wolf is asking, should we keep the fiat dollars in a bank or keep it in USDT or fiat or crypto, right? So listen carefully, guys. I have to say this all the time. I don't know why I have to keep saying this, all right? But let me say it again, okay? Let me say it again. Hold on real quick, okay? Hey, Max. Hey, bring me the computers. Bring the, yeah. Put it away. I told you guys, don't be playing on those computers. Computers are for what? Hey.
Learning.
For learning, exactly. Where's the other tablet?
I'm on it.
Go get it. Hey, Tina. Hey, make Daddy a coffee, will you? Thanks. Hey, listen. How come I don't want you guys on the computers?
I don't know.
Because I want you to grow up being stupid, that's why. Okay? Daddy grew up stupid already. I don't want you guys growing up being stupid either. Okay? Thank you. All right. So, okay. Listen carefully, guys. If you have access to Western banks, if you have access to European, Australian, Canadian, Singaporean, or US banks or Hong Kong banks, right? Then I recommend keeping the money that is for your spending bucket to pay for your expenses. That needs to be in fiat. That needs to be in US dollars, okay? Even if you are in Canada or the EU, okay? Out of all the currencies that we have, right? All the fiat currencies, the US dollar is the strongest one, okay? Now, are they all losing value? Yes, they are. Do we know that they are all losing value? Yes, we know that. We're not fucking stupid. You don't fucking get to a point where you manage 7, 8, 9-figure portfolios and be a bunch of dumbasses, okay? I might be a dumbass. And I'll admit that. If you call me, hey, you stupid ass, I'm like, well, what am I supposed to say? Argue with you? What am I supposed to argue with you about that? It's true. How am I going to argue with you that? Okay? I might be a dumbass, but my team is not a dumbass. I have some of the smartest motherfuckers on this goddamn earth, okay, on my team. Okay? I got David on my team. I got the Honorable Grandmaster, legendary, world-renowned LeonFu.com on my team. I challenge you guys, right? I challenge you guys to find somebody else on your team that is smarter than fucking LeonFu.com on my team. And then I got other guys behind my team that are private, that don't want to be public, right? And they're some smart dudes too, okay? So whenever you guys call me a dumbass, I'm not going to argue with that because fucking, how am I going to argue? That's like saying, hey, Ty, you're fucking Asian. Okay, how am I going to argue with that? I am Asian, right? How am I going to argue? If you call me a meathead because I got muscles or some shit, you know, how am I going to argue with that? It's true, right? You call me, you know, you make fun of me having a small dick or something, a small penis or something. What am I supposed to argue, right? If it's true, how can I argue with it? But if you guys call my team a dumbass team, you're so fucking wrong, man. You have no fucking idea how wrong you fucking guys are. Okay, you do, like, we are the last team on this fucking planet Earth to be calling a stupid ass team. You can call me a stupid ass. You can call me a dumbass. If you call my team a dumbass team, you're fucking an idiot. Okay, because you don't know the level that we're playing at. Okay, so the banks. Okay, we know that when we say put your money in U.S. dollars, people, oh, you know, they act like they're fucking smart and shit. They got like $2 in their pocket and they think they know everything about the U.S. dollar. Like, really, like, unless your team has cracked $10 million or $100 million in your portfolio, you know, don't fucking come and tell us about how to manage money or where to put money and how to protect money. Don't fucking tell us, okay? Don't tell us until your team, notice I say your team. I didn't say you, I said your team. Because if you want to make 5, 10, 20, $100 million, right, that is not something that an individual does. That's something that a team makes. An individual capacity is around $200,000 a year, and that's high. For an individual, the capacity, money-making capacity of an individual is around $150,000 to $200,000 a year. Anytime it starts to go above $200,000 a year, you need a team of people. You need at least 2, 3 people to help you do that. A person by themselves cannot make $200,000 easily. You need a team. You guys might say, I know, some of you guys are saying, hey Ty, you're a fucking idiot. Yes, I know that. You don't have to fucking remind me about that. You guys are saying, there's guys on Wall Street that make $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. There's CEOs that make $5, $10, $20 million. No, they fucking don't. No, they don't. You guys say, oh, there's doctors that make, you know, $1 million a year. No, they don't. They do not do that by themselves. I've had heart surgery 3 fucking times already. 3 times. The third time I was awake because I was so upset and so frustrated that my heart keeps clogging up and they have to keep coming in there putting stents in my heart. So I got 8 stents in my heart, right? So the third time, I remember I was at the hospital, right? And they asked me to put anesthesia and I said, nah, man, don't give me no anesthesia, man. I'm going to stay awake here and watch this doctor put these stents in my heart. And they thought I was batshit crazy. I was like, nah, man, just don't give me the anesthesia. So they put these tubes, went up next to my balls, right? And they went up into the camera and all the tools. They went up near my balls and went up to my heart, right? And they're trying to find where the clogged artery was at so they can open it up. So they put the camera and everything in there and they push it in there into the artery that's clogged and they air up the balloon to blow it up big like that, and then they put the stents in there and then they pull out the tools and the camera, right? So every time they do that, holy shit, that fucking shit hurts, right? Every time they inflate the balloon, right? It's like, like the shit fucking hurts, man. Like, I didn't think it was going to hurt that much, you know, because like most of the pain nerves on the human body is on the skin on the outside. So I didn't think there was a lot of pain nerves on the inside of my heart, right? So I said, yeah, don't give me no fucking anesthesia. And then the other reason why is because I wanted to see what my heart looks like when it's clogged up, right? So I can make some changes and shit. And so while they're working on the heart, they would shoot this dye into your heart, and then I don't know how the radiation in the dye or whatever's in the dye, it shows up on the computer monitor. So they had a big old 40, 50-inch screen inside the operation room, right? And so the doctor, the heart surgeon is in there, the cardiovascular surgeon is in there, the anesthesia guy is in there. He's standing next to me the whole time. All right, thanks. Can you close the door for Daddy too? Yeah. So you got the cardiovascular surgeon, the heart surgeon, you got the anesthesia guy standing right there next to me. You got the nurse that's helping, giving the tools to the surgeon, and then you got I don't know what you call him, but he's like the x-ray technician or something like that. He's watching it's not the x-rays, it's some kind of scanning machine. I don't know what technology it is, right? But it's some kind of scanning device. It scans the heart, it looks at the dye inside my heart, and the x-ray technician is guiding the heart surgeon on where to move it and where the potential clog could be at. that. So I'm listening to the doctors, the nurses, and the technician, the radiologist technician, and there was somebody else. The surgeon, the radiology technician, the nurse, the anesthesia. There was a fifth person in the room. I don't know what the responsibility is, right? While every time the doctor moved the camera around in my heart, I can feel it, right? It's painful, but it's manageable, okay? But every time he aired the balloon, that's when I felt it. I mean, like every time the doctor would air up the balloon, right? I mean, like the sweat would just immediately shoot out of my forehead, right? And you know, like my body would just like tense up, right? Because oh my God, it was so painful. I have been hit, I've been punched, I've done lots of things that's painful in my life, but I have never experienced that level of pain to where I'm just like, I can't even like make a noise. Like the only thing I could do was like when they air up the balloon in my heart, it was like it was, have you guys ever had so much pain that you can't even make a noise? That's how painful it was. Like there's pain where you scream and yell and holler, and there's pain where you can't even make a noise because it's so painful, right? And the heart surgeon, the nurses, and the anesthesia guy can see that I'm in pain, you know. And the doctor would ask like, "Hey, you want the anesthesia now, right?" And I'm like, "No." I just shook my head, no, right? The reason why is because I didn't want them to put me to sleep. I wanted to be awake so I can see my heart and see what it looks like. Okay, so that's the reason why I wanted to stay awake. Okay, so I'm saying this to you guys about my heart surgery, right? Because I want you to know that it's very difficult for an individual to make over $200,000. Very, very, very difficult, right? It is much easier if you have a team. That's why in our team, we got a bunch of guys, right? 3 of them you can see publicly. That's me, the Honorable Grandmaster, legendary, world-renowned, LeonFu.com, and then you got David, right? The 3 of us. And we got a bunch of other guys in the background that you guys don't know about, okay? So they like to keep private. They don't want nobody to know that they have money. They don't want nobody to know. In Vietnam, when you have money, you want everybody to know it. But in America, right, and in the West, they despise you for having money, right? They really fucking hate your guts. So in America, whenever people make money, they just try to dress poor and just look poor. It's called, what do you call that? Silent wealth, or the silent rich, okay, or the quiet wealth, or the quiet rich, okay. That is just different culture in Vietnam, Thailand, China, places like that, right? It has a face culture. So if you have a little bit of money, you fucking go out there and show it off right away, right? But in America, it's not like that. So since I grew up most of my life in America, I have adopted that culture as well. You know, that our team, we just keep it low key, all right? So the US dollar, you put it in the banks, okay? Now, keep in mind that the banks only insure, the US banks only insure your US dollars up to $250,000. So if you want $250,000, right, then you got to put in, if you have $1 million, you got to put in this bank, this bank, this bank, and this bank. You got to get private banking, right? And private banking means that you have a dedicated bank representative handle your account. So if you're a retail bank service, means you just go in there, whichever bank teller or whichever window is open, you just go in there and they just handle your account, right? If you have private banking, then you go into the bank, there's a representative that handles specifically your account. Okay, so that's what you have to do. You have to go put it in a bank. Now, when you put it in the bank, right, the money that we put in the bank for to pay for our living expenses, it's in the bank, but it's not in U.S. dollars. Okay, it's in U.S. treasuries, in U.S. bonds, and then we live off the interest off of that. Okay, so that's how I would do it if I'm in the U.S. Okay, now, since I'm in Vietnam, then I would put it in a Vietnamese bank. So there's a bunch of banks in Vietnam. The money that I keep for my living expenses, I only put it into the government banks, right? Why? Because if a manager or a bank manager tries to do something illegal with my money, the way that the Communist Party deals with it is they just put that person in prison or they execute him. Okay? They do not tolerate you messing with the government banks in Vietnam. You get caught stealing, they execute you. Okay? You steal customers' monies, or you do anything stupid with it, they execute you. Okay? So that, in my opinion, is the best insurance to have, is when the government is willing to execute the bank manager if the bank manager runs away with people's money, or at least put them in prison. Okay? In the U.S., you don't hear about that. The bank managers in America, they fuck up, they make a mistake or something, they never go to prison, and for sure nobody gets executed in America for stealing or scamming people's monies, okay? In Vietnam, you scam people's monies, the customers' monies, right? You go to prison, and if it passes a certain amount of money, like in the millions of dollars, they execute you, okay? So, so you put it into U.S. Treasuries, right? And you can even, so there's three ways that you can do it. You can buy U.S. Treasury bonds, right? The U.S. bonds inside the bank account. You can buy the bonds by opening up a brokerage account, like at TD Ameritrade in America. You can do it with Interactive Brokers. You can do it with TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, Charles Schwab, or you go to a one of the let's call it a VIP brokerage firm, okay? Like Morgan Stanley, you can go to Goldman Sachs, you can go to those big banks like that, and they handle just rich people only, okay? So you gotta have millions of dollars before you go to those guys, right? And you go to them, and they will assign an account representative to handle your account. And what you would do is they make a transaction fee every time they buy the bonds for you or sell the bonds for you. And if you get a good guy, what they'll do is they'll take care of you. Like if you guys are past like 10, 20, 50, $100 million in the U.S., if you're one of our students that have passed that and you want a good bond broker or a good guy to represent you, right, at Goldman Sachs or at Morgan Stanley or one of those places, just contact me on Signal, and then I'll talk to you, and then see what your goals are, and then I can make an introduction to you to the guys that we know. One of the guys that we know, he's really good, right? He's been upfront, he's been honest with us, and he's a wealthy dude too, so it's not like he has to give you the wrong advice and then just so he can make a commission off of your trade, okay? This guy's probably worth more money than you have, okay? So because of that, whenever he gives us advice, on where to buy the bonds or things like that, he gives pretty good advice. And he's licensed by the government. He has a government license to give you financial advice too, right? So it's not like me. So that, the fiat dollars, put it in the bank, put it in the brokerage firms, put it into U.S. bonds. Even if you live in Canada, even if you live in Singapore, even if you live in Europe, Australia, it doesn't matter. Put it into U.S. bonds, because all the fiat currencies, they all suck, okay? So you just gotta ask yourself, which one sucks the least? Which one is losing value the slowest? And that's the U.S. dollar. They all lose value, but which one is losing value the slowest? And it's the U.S. dollar right now. And how do you do that? Either you can hold the U.S. dollar or you hold the bonds. The reason why the bonds, all the rich people put their money into U.S. bonds is because if they put into U.S. dollars, the insurance only pays $250,000, okay? But with the bonds, then it's insured by the U.S. aircraft carriers and F-35 jets and the nuclear weapons. That's what it's insured by, okay? You come fuck with the U.S. dollar, they send the aircraft carriers and they bomb the fucking shit out of you, okay? So that's even better than the FDIC insurance or the SIPC insurance that they offered to you, okay? So what you do is when you put your money into Goldman Sachs or into Morgan Stanley or Charles Schwab, they don't actually put the money in their bank account. They put it, when you tell them to put it into bonds, they buy the U.S. bonds for you. So the U.S. bonds are guaranteed by the U.S. government. There's no $250,000 limit or $500,000 limit. There's none of that, okay? It's whatever's in that bond. So that's how you would store the U.S. dollars, right? Now, notice, I want to pause here real quick, guys. I want you to notice that Great Wolf asked me about how do you protect the US dollars that you have or the fiat money that you have. And notice how I gave a very clear answer on how you protect a large amount of money, of millions of dollars. Notice that. It's very clear. I tell you the legal and the laws behind it and why we do it the way it does. Notice I mentioned about the $250,000 FDIC insurance. Notice that I mentioned about the SIPC $500,000 insurance. Notice that I give you the names of the brokers like Goldman Sachs, like Morgan Stanley, like Charles Schwab, like Fidelity, like TD Ameritrade, like Interactive Brokers, right? Let me change the battery here. Okay, give me a second to change the battery here, guys. Okay, notice guys that when you guys ask me, right, when you guys ask me about notice that when you guys asked me, that Great Wolf asked me about where to put the money and shit, right? Notice how I gave him a clear answer. Okay, what is that a signal of? Well, to me, when somebody gives a clear answer like that and clearly tells me where to go and what to do, that lets me know that that guy and his team must have done it already. Okay, that's what it tells me, right? How else would we know, how else would I know to share that with you guys if we haven't done it already? Okay, why is that important? Well, it's important because if you ask the other YouTubers and you ask the other traders and investors, they have no fucking clue. Where would you store and insure millions of dollars? They don't have a clue. Matter of fact, they would actually turn around and tell you shit about the US dollar. Right? They would tell you, oh, it's stupid, you're an idiot, and stuff like that. And you're like, okay, if what Ty and his team is saying is to store your fiat currency in US bonds because it's the one that loses value the slowest, right? Right? Even if it's losing 10, 15, 20% value each year, it's still slower than all the other fiat currencies out there, right? And it's the only one that has liquidity. Like if you want to push in like $10 million into the Chinese yuan, or you want to push it into the Singapore dollars, or you put it into the Dubai dirham or whatever, right? Or the Malaysian ringgit, or the Singapore Sing dollars, or the Vietnamese dong, how the hell would you do that? You can't. The only fiat system where you can push in a freaking large amount of money into their system and be able to take it out anytime you want with the click of a mouse and there's liquidity, it's the US dollar. So whenever somebody tells you that, oh, they're bragging about they're making millions of dollars online, and then when you ask them where do you store those dollars that you just made, and they say, oh, you know, put it in Bitcoin and don't put it into US dollars, they're a fucking idiot. They're stupid as shit. That means they haven't done it yet. Okay? Because if you have, let's say you put out, take out $1 million in profit for your living expenses to take care of your family and shit, why the hell would you put it into dollars and take the risk of it going up and down when you're paying your house rent, your food, your cars, your gasoline, your electricity, your kids' education with dollars? Why would you put it into Bitcoin for? You would put it into a location where those dollars are safe, okay? And that would be in US Treasuries. And you can do that by going through one of the brokers that I just told you about, or you can go to treasurydirect.gov and buy it directly from the government themselves, okay? The downside to buying it from the government is that there's no, if you want to sell it, in case of an emergency, you buy $100,000 worth of bonds or $1 million worth of bonds and you want to sell it, right? You have to take those and you transfer it to the exchange, to a broker like Charles Schwab, to Fidelity, to Interactive Brokers, to TD Ameritrade, and you have to do paperwork and transfer it over there and then sell it, okay? You can do it, but you just gotta, there's an extra step of doing paperwork and transferring it, okay? Now, as far as crypto goes, right, that Great Wolf asked, put it in a ledger. That's it. And there's only two hardware wallets that we recommend, a ledger or a Trezor. Don't ask us about anything else. Why? Because we haven't stored millions of dollars in the other ones, and we're not comfortable recommending it when we have not done it ourselves. Now, are we testing them? Yes, but we just want to stick with Ledger and Trezor for now. All right. I also want to mention that Great Wolf asked about, what's the risk in putting money into Silicon Valley Bank or into a bank? Well, the risk is that you can lose everything. If you put $1 million in there, they only insure the first $250,000. You can lose the other $750,000, and the bank doesn't have to, insure that. Okay. If you put into bonds, U.S. bonds, then the U.S. government insures it for the whole $1 million, whatever amount you put in there. That's the reason why all the rich people put their money into U.S. bonds. Okay, and that's not just Americans, that's all the rich people around the world, they have money in U.S. bonds. Okay? Matter of fact, I think the last time I checked yesterday, I think it was 58%. Somewhere around 58 to 60% of all the money, all the fiat money in the world, right? When they need to be stored, they're stored in U.S. dollars. They're not stored in the Vietnamese dong or the Thai baht or the Singaporean dollar. Okay? They're stored in U.S. dollars. And I think like 20% or 22% is in the euro. Okay, so that's the second closest. What other questions do you guys have here? Let me see. Mustard but nasty Wardy, he asked how long I've been on here. I think like a couple, 2-3 hours. I don't even fucking pay attention to the time. I just share the information I need, to help out our students. So the time is irrelevant to me. I'm not here for clickbait. I'm not here to, have a million, to be the most popular channel. I'm here to help the people that want real information and not bullshit. Okay. Crypto Wolf says the crypto portion is easy to secure on a hardware wallet, the fiat portion is less so. Okay, well, I just explained to you how to do it. Okay. Would you buy MBRK13 asks, would you buy Teslas even if not in the Typhoon 30? Yeah. So the money that we take, right? So you guys take right here. Look, click on this little question mark right here, and it explains it right here. So we use an example here, 100,000, right? 80,000 goes to track and follow the Typhoon 30 index, right? 20,000 sits in the ammo bucket, right? And then we take that 80,000 and we multiply by 80%, which is 64,000, and that 64,000 is the actual amount of money that goes into the Typhoon index, right? And 80,000 times 20% is 16,000, and this 16,000 is for the opportunity trades. Okay, the opportunity trades are for opportunities in the market, right, and for coins that are outside the Typhoon index. Okay, there's 30 coins inside the Typhoon index, right? If you guys come down here to, the market data, you will see a list, right? The top 30 coins here are the coins inside the Typhoon index, right? But all the coins below it are coins outside the Typhoon index, right? So if you say, hey, let me invest into the next 10 coins that might go into the Typhoon index, right? Well, then you would look on here between number 30 and number 40. Okay? Like if you say, and it goes up to 100. Why 100 and why not anymore? Because from our experience, we just noticed that, hey man, any coins that's worth investing, it's in the top 100. If it's not, we don't want to waste time with it because there's not enough liquidity. There's not enough volume. Like if we want to buy $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 or $1 million of that coin, there's not enough liquidity for us to even buy it. So that's why we just focus on the top 30, right? So out of the top 30 coins, really, out of the top 30 coins here, if you go to the components tab, out of the top 30 coins here on the list, we actually only, for the 80-20, we recommend that if you track the index, if you follow the index, just buy the top 20 coins. Okay, that's what we teach our students. And then if you're in the 70-30 category, where you have 5 to 10 years worth of runway already, then what you would do is you would just buy like the top 15 coins. And like for our team, right, for the guys on our team, we're all in using this one right here, the 60-40. Only 60% of our capital gets invested, right? So for us, because we have more than 20 years worth of living expenses, we use this one, right? And for this one, we use, we just buy the top 10 or 12 coins. That's it, right? Why? Because the other coins don't have enough liquidity. There's not enough liquidity for us to get in and out easily, okay? Some of you guys might say, oh, Ty, you can, it just takes a few days or it takes more than a few clicks. Yes, you can get now, but what happens is when the bull market goes up and it grows, big by, 5x, 10x, 20x, there may not be enough liquidity. Or if there is a liquidity, it's all over the place. You got to get some here at this exchange, at Binance. You got to get some liquidity at Kraken, at Bitstamp, at Bitfinex, at PancakeSwap, at Uniswap, at BSwap, all these different exchanges, right? And there's not enough time to do that. Like realistically, it's really difficult to move millions of dollars around to all these exchanges and do it, because every time you do that, the risk that you do it wrong is very, very high. Like many of you guys know that you've been following me for a long time. I sent $1 million to the wrong address in 2017, and I lost that $1 million. Okay, so those mistakes happen if you use too many exchanges, too many accounts, too many things like that. You make too many transactions, that mistake is bound to happen. And my portfolio was smaller back in 2017, and I made a mistake and it cost me $1 million. Nowadays, when I make a mistake, it's going to be even worse. Okay, so we got to be really careful. We got to use coins that we know for certain that we are familiar with, that we have liquidity, we have hardware wallet support. So all that is important. Okay, so the more money that you make, the less coins that you hold. Okay, when you're starting out, you don't have a lot of money, then you can afford to buy more coins. You can take more risk because you don't have anything. Okay, you can take more risk. But now, when I do have something, right, and my life is set, I don't want to take a lot of risk. I'll take just enough risk to continue making life-changing profits, but there's no reason for me to take the risk and lose my entire net worth, half of it or even a quarter of it. There's no reason to do that. Okay, that's very stupid. All right. The Tezos question here. So the 1%, that 20%, that 16,000 right there, I would use that to buy the Tezos, right? So all the Tezos that I bought in 2019, I made good profits on it. I made over 3x on it, right? And then I sold most of it in the 2021 bull market, and then in 2023, I bought pretty much all of it back. And I bought all of it back using this money right here, right? Because they are still the richest, one of the richest projects out there, and they're not going to run out of money. And there's not a lot of scams or any negative stuff that's associated with Tezos, right? And they got good development. Even though they're not in the top index, I'm still willing to make a small bet on it, okay? So that's, yes, I do invest in the coins outside the index, and I make a small bet on them. Okay, Win asks, I'm still saving an amount of money for my monthly salary. What should I do with it? Okay, we're in the gray 130 here, guys, right? So this is not an area to be buying, right? If you've been following us since the beginning of the year, this is not the area to buy. But if you're new to the markets and you want to get into crypto, the only thing that I would buy, right, is Bitcoin. That's it. The reason why is because that's the only coin that's going to be able to pull back up and reach new highs after a crash. Okay, you don't want to risk buying an altcoin that's not going to survive a crash. Morpheus, Ty, what would you do with the Taifu index portfolio? I never got a chance to sell anything since I never got the goal life-changing profits I wanted. Okay, so sometimes, right, the market goes up, you don't make life-changing profits, but you still need to take profits for ammo, right? So let's say that you need $200,000 to retire in Vietnam or Thailand, okay? And You go up here and it's only $100,000. And you're like, okay, I don't have $200,000 to take profits and retire, right? Well, what you can do is you can take out $50 or $70, $80,000, right? And put that aside so you have ammo so that when it crashes into the bear market, you have ammo to buy for the next bull market. Okay, so you're going to take profits if you don't have enough money to retire or take profits to hit your financial goals so that you can make a change in your life. You still need to take profits in order to fill up your ammo bucket so you have more ammo for the next bull market, for the next bear market. Okay, Craig D, hello from Philly. Hello, what's up? So, Demon Bizwaz, hi Ty, this is Demon from Texas. Do you trust Solana after the FTX collapse? It's pumping so much in the last few days. Okay, howdy there, Bizwaz from Texas. Okay, Texas is one of the greatest countries in America, right? So, let me see, Solana, right, is a coin that was promoted heavily by FTX, okay? So FTX collapsed and Solana has survived after the collapse, okay? Especially the reason why Solana is pumping right now is I think because the SEC, the US government said that the coin FTT is not illegal, it didn't break the law. So that means when they said that, right, that was good news for the FTX community, the Solana community, the FTT community, and the people that got scammed by bankman fraud, right? All the people who got scammed by bankman fraud, right, are feeling happy and a relief. So they're buying up Solana, right? And I don't see anything wrong with Solana. I believe that it's still going to survive on its own, even if FTX collapses, right? Now, the exchange FTX will come back online. Okay, they will come back into business because it's a they got a big community, they got business, they got clients, they got someone is going to buy them out, and they're going to turn the FTX exchange back on. Okay, so the FTX exchange is not going to go away. All right. That is not going to go away. That is still going to survive. It's just a matter of when. When will they turn back on and become active again and allow customers to trade on their exchange again? Okay? So that's going to happen. And so Solana, I don't see it going away. I see FTX exchange coming back to business. Now, in the beginning, there will be some people that are hesitant to use it, right? I'm not too worried about it. Right? If FTX comes back on, they let me use it, I'll use it. You know, I mean, I transfer money to the exchange, I make the trade, and I remove the money from the exchange immediately. So I don't care what the fuck they do. As long as I have liquidity that I need, I'll use it. Okay? So I think Solana, if you are making a buying decision or an investing decision on Solana based on whether or not FTX collapse or not, well then that should not matter because they're going to turn the FTX exchange back on. You know, at a certain time, I don't know when, but I believe that they are going to turn it back on. I just don't know when, okay? Because the exchange, the software, the platform, everything, that still works, okay? It's just the people that were running it were using it to scam people, right? But if you get a legitimate company or a legitimate group of people to come in and operate the exchange, then the exchange itself is no longer a scam, right? So I don't see why they would not let it come back on. Okay, somebody's going to buy it out and somebody's going to turn it back on. Okay, so do I hold Solana? Yeah, I bought some Solana this year. Do I like it? Actually, no. I think it's the shittiest fucking goddamn blockchain out there, right? I've never seen a blockchain worse than Solana. I've never experienced a blockchain worse than Solana. There's thousands of blockchains on the market. I have never ever seen a blockchain that I experienced worse performance than Solana. Okay, when I used the Solana platform in the past, all the blockchain networks, let's just say that all the blockchain networks operate at like a Honda Civic level. It's a low-end car, at least a Honda Civic level, okay? Solana to me, when I was using it in 2021, is the equivalent of using a bicycle with one wheel missing and the pedals and one pedal missing. So imagine trying to ride a bicycle with one wheel missing and one pedal missing. That's how horrible the Solana network was. Every time I transferred money, right, on Solana's network, and keep in mind, guys, I was not transferring like, $1, $2, $10, $100, $1,000, $100,000, or $1 million. I was helping a client, right, transfer millions of dollars on the Solana network. It took me 3 months to transfer all the amount of money that I needed to transfer for this client, okay? And I was the one making the transfers for the client because the client did not trust the network to transfer it because there's so many problems, okay? So I was the one clicking the buttons and making the transfers, and it was stuck every week. Every week we had problems with it. For 3 months, every fucking week, we had trouble transferring the FTX, the Solana token, okay? It is the absolute worst, the shittiest fucking blockchain platform I've ever used in 10 years. Dogecoin, Pepe, okay, Shiba, those networks are 100 times better than the Solana network. Now, has the Solana network changed since 2021? Has it changed since then? I'm sharing with you guys my experience from 2021, okay? Has it changed since then? I don't know, because I haven't made a lot of transfers on it, so I don't know, okay? But the fact that it was hyped up and in 2021 at the peak when it was doing that, right? That's a shitty platform to me, okay? Let's look at Tezos, let's look at Cardano, let's look at Ethereum, let's look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, right? All these other networks, right? None of them. I have never had a stuck, or I've never been in a situation with any of those platforms where I could not make a transaction. Now, have the transactions been delayed? Have they been slow? Yes. Like Bitcoin, the longest, I think our team, we transferred like a large amount of money one time, and it took us over a day. We were sweating bullets. Like we were stressed out trying to figure out where the Bitcoins are at because we were waiting for it to confirm, and we paid hundreds of dollars for the transaction to confirm, and we were waiting over a day, and it still didn't show up. Okay, during the peak of like 2017 or something like that, right? So, are there delays? Yes, there are delays, but that's just with Bitcoin. All the other blockchains that we've used, we've never had like more than like even Ethereum when it was slow, maybe 1 hour delay, maybe that was it. But like Tezos, Polkadot, Cardano, Dogecoin. Just all these other networks, right, within just a few minutes, okay? I've never had experience with any blockchain where I could not make a transaction. Like I could not sign a transaction to do that, okay? And there was many times where I was not able to do a transaction, okay? So it's a shitty network. Now, do I own Solana right now? Yes, I do, right? Do I believe that there's a potential to make profits in Solana? Yes, I do. That's why I bought it, right? But would I ever like say good things about Solana? Hell no. It's a fucking shitty network, right? Would I ever try to build something on the Solana network? Fuck no, right? Would I ever consider storing value on the Solana network? Fuck no. That would be stupid, right? I would do it on like Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I would do it on Tezos, but as far as like Solana, anything that's long term, right? I would not touch that shit. In 2021, if their network sucked that much, right? I don't have faith in them. I would not. Even if they got better, I still would not trust them, right? I would trust networks like Cardano, like Tezos, like Ethereum, that they've been running, fairly stable since its birth. Okay. So Great Wolf says U.S. bonds are insured by proof of violence. Yeah, I mean, hey man, I grew up in the ghettos of America, right? And when you're in the hood and you're in prison, right? The dude with the biggest weapons are the ones that win. Whether it's your fist, whether it's a stick, whether it's a knife, whether it's a gun, a shank, a machete, a sword, a jet, a cannon, a bazooka, a grenade, an aircraft carrier, whoever has the bigger weapons is the ones that win, man. Is the one that's running shit. It's not the guy with the most money. It's the guy with the biggest weapon. Okay? So, Genghis Khan says, isn't it true that eventually the altcoin 30 index will outperform the crypto 30 index? Yeah. Eventually, it will outperform it. Like if you measure, right? If you measure the... you're asking the wrong question there, Genghis Khan. You're asking the wrong question. Okay? Why do we say that? Let me show you guys why it's important to ask the right questions and not the wrong questions. Okay? So let's just say that we look at the bottom. Right? We look at the bottom and we go from the bottom. We take the ruler here and we measure just somewhere around the bottom, right? And we come up to the top of 2021. So notice that it's 1269%, right? Let's just round it off to 13x, okay? Let's just round it off, that's 1269%. Let's just round it off to 13x, just so that the math is easy for explanation purposes, okay? Right? Now, keep in mind that this first peak right here was in May, right? May 10th, 2021, right? Just remember those numbers, okay? Let's go down here to the altcoin index. Okay? So we put on weekly and we go from the bottom, right? We go from the bottom down here. We pull a ruler down here near the bottom and we pull it to the top, the peak. So notice that it's 13. Okay? 13. The difference is not significant. Okay? The difference is not significant. But you know what is significant? Right? So you see how May, it's right here? Right? The problem is this, guys. This is the problem that you're going to have if you just invest in the altcoin index, and this is the reason why we don't recommend it, right? Is because this goes earlier. Like, look at 2021. Let's look at the beginning of 2021. Right there. Okay? What happens is, if you guys look at the math, right, from the 70 points down here, it comes up to here by 2021. It's somewhere right there. And we're talking about that green candle right there, right? It's 248%. Okay? So from the bottom, it came up to the end of 2020, it's about 248%. Okay? And what happens is, if you look at the end of 2020 over here, right, that's that long green candle right there, right, which is right there. The second one, the last candle of the year, okay? We're going to measure that from the low down here, right? And notice how it's up 434%. You guys see that? Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that? The Taifu index is up 434% at the end of 2020, okay? And the Taifu altcoin index is only up 200 and something percent. Now, what's the big deal about that? Well, the problem is, if you look at the all-time highs, the altcoin index is higher. However, in the beginning of the market cycle, emotionally, you will not be able to handle it. We have not seen a student and we have not seen a team member on our team that can emotionally handle that. Like the market, the Taifu index is going up, right, 400 and something percent, and the altcoin index is only going up 200%, 200 and something percent. Emotionally, that's too painful. And you might say, hey, Ty, that's not a big deal. I'm hard-headed, I'm stubborn, right? I'm tough. and I can handle that emotionally just so that I can get a higher reward with the altcoin index, right? And that's fine. That's fine. You can do that with like 10,000, 100,000, maybe even $1 million. But if you have $5 or $10 million, I don't believe you can do that. I don't believe that if you have, let's say that you have $10 million, right? And it goes up 400x, right? And you just went from 10 to $40 million, and then you follow the altcoin index and your $10 million only goes up 2x, and it only goes up to 20x. That's a difference of $20 million. I don't see how emotionally how you can handle that. Okay, just do it with $1 million and see if you can handle it. Do it with $100,000 and see if you can handle it. If you have $100,000 and the market, if you follow the Taifu crypto index, you go from 100,000 up to 400,000. And if you follow the altcoin index, it goes from 100,000 to 250,000. Are you going to be emotionally able to handle that? No. The answer is no. Because in your brain, you're going to sit there and go, holy shit, if I would have just had Bitcoin in here, my portfolio would be 400,000 right now. And my dumbass is listening to a bunch of fucking idiots online that don't know how to make money, don't know how to make life-changing profits. I listen to them instead of listening to Ty and his team who've done it already and has helped 100 students become millionaires already. I should have fucking listened to them. And they said they can't do it, so why would I think that I can do it? Okay, they have way more money, way more experience, and even then they could not do it. Emotionally, they cannot do it, right? So that's why we say that our channel is a realistic channel and it's not a theory channel, because in the real world, when you're making trades and you're making investments with large amounts of money, there's emotions and feelings involved. And the way that we set up the cryptocurrency investing blueprint, we teach our students how to trade and make life-changing profits while you have those emotions. Like you got these dumbasses online that say, oh, trade without emotions, trade without feelings, and all this dumb shit. Yeah, it's easy to say that when you don't have any fucking money and you don't have millions of dollars on the line. Yeah, it's easy to say when you don't trade for a living and you don't make any money from trading or investing. Yeah, it's easy to say that. That's easy to say because that's easy to read that shit online or in a book and just repeat it to somebody else. That is not easy to do, to trade or to invest without any feelings and emotions. Especially when you don't have a fucking system or nothing. How the fuck are you gonna goddamn trade without feelings and emotions? That's a bunch of fucking bullshit, okay? So we teach our students in the cryptocurrency investing blueprint that when you trade, there's going to be feelings and emotions involved, okay? That's not what we worry about. We worry about, do you know what to do when those feelings and those emotions arise inside your body, inside your head, okay? And the way that we do it is that we know that if we follow the altcoin index and it doesn't have Bitcoin in it, we know that it's going to hurt. Emotionally, it is going to suck. It is going to hurt. Okay, so that's why we say don't do that. Follow the Taifu index, okay? This is for the dumbasses, and this is for the hard-headed students, okay? The reason why we put it up there, we're going to get rid of it, we're going to hide it later on, but right now it's there. But we created it because we got students that just won't fucking listen no matter what we say, okay? They pay us, but then they're stubborn. They think they're smarter, okay? They don't fucking understand math. They don't understand how probability works. They don't understand how to manage the emotions when the market goes up, but they think they're better and they think they're smarter. We can't help it. There's always somebody that thinks like that, right? So to answer Genghis Khan's question, will the altcoin index outperform the Taifu crypto index? Yes, there's a high probability it does, but emotionally you will not be able to handle it in the beginning of a bull market, okay? Because there's a delay. It lags the Taifu index, okay? Brian asked, hey Ty, do you think this is the last bull run for crypto? No, that's like the dumbest fucking question to ask. That's like saying, hey, is this the last time gold is going to go up? Is this the last time the real estate market's going to go up? Is this the last time that the stock market's going to go up? That has got to be the fucking dumbest question. Don't ever ask something stupid like that, okay? This is a new asset class, right? Asset classes take hundreds of years to mature, okay? A dog takes like 1 or 2 years to mature, right? A human takes about 15, 20 years to mature, right? Everything takes time to mature. When we talk about asset classes, we are talking about hundreds of years to mature, We're not talking about 10 years, 20 years, 1 or 2 or 3 market cycles. If something only takes 10 years or 20 years to mature, that is not an asset class. Okay, that is not a fucking asset class. Okay, that might be a gimmick, that might be something that you buy and sell, but that you cannot call that an asset class if it takes 10 or 20 years to mature and it takes only 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20 cycles and it matures. That is not a fucking asset class. Asset classes means that it takes hundreds of years to mature and it takes hundreds of cycles. It can grow, it keeps growing. Okay? That's what an asset class is. And crypto is a new asset class, right? It takes hundreds of years for humans to invent a new asset class. That's the reason why it's so hard for a lot of people to understand right now, because they don't live hundreds of years. The human lifespan is only 80, 90 years. And before that, 100 years ago, the average lifespan of a human was about 33 years for a man and about 35, 36 years for a woman. So we have very, very short lifespans, so we can only see a small slice of what the market is doing, okay? See, Great Wolf says, if Solana is such a crappy blockchain, how did it end up in the top 30? Even Dash isn't as bad as you described. Yeah, Dash is fucking 100 times better than fucking Solana, right? Because Great Wolf, you're comparing apples to apples, man. Like you're comparing like a fucking ladyboy to a real lady, okay? Like go here and read the fucking goddamn methodology over here of what goes in the index. Solana fits that criteria, so it fits in the index, right? But that doesn't mean it's a fucking good coin, right? When you guys come to Thailand and you guys see a very pretty ladyboy, right? It doesn't matter how pretty the girl is, man, but it's still not a fucking girl, right? It's a ladyboy. Right? It's a ladyboy. Right? Just because somebody has money, it doesn't mean they're fucking smart. Right? Like I got money. I don't fucking consider myself smart. Right? Are there people that have money that are fucking dumb as shit? Yeah. You're listening to one right now. And are there people that have money that are smart as shit? Yeah. That would be my business partner, the Honorable Grandmaster, legendary, world-renowned LeonFu.com. That motherfucker is smart, okay? For me, I'm a fucking dumbass. But I'm smart enough to follow a guy that I know is smarter than me, okay? So when you ask the question, if Solana is such a crappy blockchain, why is it at the top? Or why is it in the Typhoon 30, right? Well, why the fuck is goddamn Joe Biden the president of America? The dude is senile, right? Why is he president? So what does that got to do with anything? You got to look at, there are people that can be at the top and they're shitty, and there are people that can be at the top and they are not shitty. Okay? So what does that got to do with anything? Okay? If you ask me, hey, is Solana in the Typhoon index? Yes. Can it be in the Typhoon index? Yes, it can. If it meets the criteria, can it be a shitty fucking project and go into the Typhoon index? Yes. Okay? If it meets the criteria. Genghis Khan said, don't hide it. I don't know what he's talking about. LA says, when are you going to have subscribers meet up? I don't know for what. I don't know, why do I need to have a subscriber meetup for? Right? If somebody wants to learn how we invest, just right here. Just get a copy of the blueprint. We got it in English and Vietnamese. Right? Do you think would be the first trillionaire will be created on crypto assets? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, why would you ask, that for? Like, if you have an opportunity to ask somebody else how to improve your trading and your investing skills, why waste time asking a question of trillionaire? That's not going to affect your life, right? Genghis Khan said, please don't hide the altcoin 30 index. Yeah, we're going to hide it. It's just not going to be a default. Like, if you want to show it, you have to, click a button to show it, because we don't want to confuse people. Okay, that's the reason why. Right? We're not going to get rid of it. We're just going to hide it so it's not a default. Like right here, when you come to the cryptocurrency.market website, it's not like We're going to hide the 70-30, 60-40, the 80-20. We're going to hide all of this. All it's going to show is the 80-20 in your portfolio and the portfolios that you follow. For example, like if you want to see what our students are doing, right? You can follow our students. When you log in and create an account, there's going to be a follow button right here. You click on the follow button, and then it's going to show over here just the Taifu 80-20 and the student portfolios that you follow. Okay, so the ones that have a blue badge, they are our students, and then the ones that do not have a blue badge, like so like these right here, those are not our students. Okay, now can our students come over here and create a portfolio over here with a separate email or something like that? Yes, they can, right? But the ones here, they took our course, okay? Maybe one of these days, I'll review the public student portfolios and see where their mistakes are at and see what they can improve. If that helps you guys, let me know and I'll put it in the comment and I'll see if I can do it. Okay, let me see. Kevin Tech, last question here, guys, and then I'm going to end this live stream. Kevin Tech says, current market, my Solana position has gained 3x. I'm not sure whether to cut some to rebalance it back into Bitcoin or Ethereum now, or should I wait until we reach the red zone to even consider rebalancing it? I don't know. I don't know what your strategy is, Kevin. I don't know what your strategy is. So I cannot answer that for you. Like if you ask me, hey Ty, you know, in the cryptocurrency investing blueprint, what do you teach your students to do, right? Then I can answer that. But I don't know what your strategy is, right? So I cannot answer for you. You have to find out whoever you learn that strategy from, right? You need to ask them. And if you develop the strategy yourself, then you need to figure it out, all right? So I don't know what strategy you're using, so I cannot say. Okay? So LA says, who do you pay taxes to, the US, Thailand, or Vietnam? Okay, so you have to see what country that you are in, like to know if you are a tax resident of that country or not. If you're a tax resident of that country, then you pay taxes to that country. Okay, now if you are a US citizen, it doesn't matter where you're at, you still have to pay taxes to the US. Okay, most countries, the way the tax law works, most countries, I'm not saying all of it, but most countries, if you live in that country for more than 6 months, then you become a tax resident of that country. If you do not live in that country for more than 6 months, then you are not a tax resident of that country. That's the easiest understanding that I have. You still have to go, whatever countries you're in, go talk to your public, your licensed accountant or your licensed tax attorney and let them explain to you, because I don't know the laws in your country, okay? I know that the laws in the US is that it does not matter what country you live on, right? Because the US taxes you based on your citizenship, not based on where your butt is sitting, okay? Most countries, they tax you based on where your butt is sitting. So if you're sitting in that country, if your butt is in that country for more than 6 months, you become their tax resident. But if your butt is not in their country for more than 6 months, you are not their tax resident. Okay, you're not a taxable resident there. The U.S. does not care where your butt is at, because they tax your butt on whether or not you have a U.S. passport, or you a U.S. citizen or not. I'm not a U.S. citizen, so I don't pay taxes in the U.S. Okay. Genghis Khan said, yes, please review the public portfolios for critique. Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks for doing the stream. Always a pleasure and informative, and the live stories are also very entertaining as well. Yeah, I don't like to have a boring broadcast, right? Because people don't want to sit around for fucking 3 hours listening to boring people, right? Nam says, does the opportunity portfolio, the 20%, need to be rebalanced every quarter? Yes, it does, because that's part of your investment portfolio. I can't find a place to rebalance the 20% portfolio on the software, because you have to put that 20% in the same portfolio. Like, see that $100,000 right here, right? The 80,000 of it is in your portfolio, and so is the other 20,000. So the 64,000, the 16,000, and the 20,000, they all sit in the same portfolio, and you rebalance it all at the same time every quarter. Kevin Tech says, I would love to see you analyze the public student portfolios. I'll do that at another time. If you guys want me to, I'll do that at another time. All right, guys, I'm going to end this live stream. I hope I answered everyone's questions about when to buy, when to hold, when to sell, when to think about selling, and what our team is doing, right? So right now, we're just holding. We're not doing anything, right? We're not doing anything big. We're not doing anything major, right? I will say this. Every month, almost every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks, I do sell a small amount, like a few hundred, couple $1,000, right? And I do that. I sell my staking rewards, and the reason why I do that is because if I don't sell something, if I don't move coins from my wallet to the exchange to the banks, if I don't do that once a month or twice a month, I forget. Okay, so I want you guys to know that I do practice moving coins to the exchange, selling it, converting it to fiat, and then moving it to the banks or to the financial institutions. Okay, I do that every month, and I've been doing that since I don't know when. I can't remember. I do it every month, okay? But that's not selling to take profits. It's not selling. It's just for practice, okay? Because at my age, I'm 52 years old now, right? And I just find it like sometimes, man, it's just fucking like, I'm scared that if I don't do that, I forget. And I've done it before. Like there's times when I try to move some Bitcoins, and it takes me like a few hours to figure out how to remember how to use my wallet to move the coins. So because I just eliminate that risk, right? Just by sending, small amounts of coins to the exchange every month, and I sell it, I convert it, and I send it to my accounts. Okay, so I go through that every month. Now, the only difference between the current practice, right, and when I come up to the red area where I practice up there, is that right now it's a small amount. It's so small, it's not even worth talking about, okay? But when it comes up here, then the practice that I do will be a little bit much bigger chunks, okay, that I practice with, all right? So that's the only difference, all right? So the reason why I share that with you is that it's important that if you're older, right, and you start forgetting all this technical stuff, it's good that you practice, okay? And you practice with small amounts, all right? All right, guys, thanks for joining me on this live stream. Let me know in the comments right here. Was this helpful, guys? Was this helpful for you guys? Did it answer a lot of questions for you? Is this useful? Okay, because we've been broadcasting for over 10 years now, and I don't know if, we have pretty much said everything that we need to say in the last 10 years on our channel. Even if we make a new broadcast, it's just a repeat of what we said in the past. It's like, I don't think anything I've said here is new, okay? Because our system has not changed that dramatically for us to say something new, right? So is this helpful? If it's helpful, leave it in the comments, and so I'll know, okay? Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will end this live stream now.